should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey, y'all. Trying to put my headphones in. I'm sorry. Trying to make sure they're connected. How are y'all doing today? This fine Thursday. Hope y'all are all doing very well. I have missed y'all last night. I hope y'all had a good evening. I did. I was up late. I'm glad y'all are here with me today. The classic one, good to see you. Busy, busy day. I hope it gets a little bit less busy and you have a better day. Shelby, good to see you. Oh my gosh, girl, I got a bottle of Afrin right here. You got to get Afrin, no drip, severe congestion. All right, y'all. I'm all about the herbal remedies, but when it comes to my nose being stopped up, I cannot sleep. Nope, we got to have that Afrin. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. Rebecca, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Lori Ann and Cara, thank you for being here. Anita Blackstone, thank you for being here. Tom, good to see you. Shelby, Edith, again. Monica, good to see you. Mimi, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Brenda, good to see you and thank you for being here. Snarky Pants, Miss Kimmy, thank you for being here. Judy, thank you for being here. The Astro from Space, thank you for being here and it's nice to see you. Soups and Banana Bottom and Bethina, thank you for being here. It's good to see you. And Cindy from sunny South Florida, thank you all very much for being here. Hello, Julie Ann. Good to see you. Good to see you, Stephanie. I'm glad y'all are here today. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you, Cara, for welcoming everybody in. All right, let's do some kind of Halloween clip and then we will get started. Something, something, something. What do we got? Hold on just a minute. Where is it? There it is. Do y'all want to hear a song? We'll do Inner Sandman. It's 5 minutes and 30 seconds. We can do a quick pregnant Halloween costumes. I'm going to put it on mute though, because they like to strike me. Hey, Weather Rain and Canadianess. Good to see you from British Columbia. Nice to see you. All right, here's some pregnant Halloween costumes. 1, 2, 3. Look, I thought that was funny. Hold on. It's the farmer in the pumpkin patch. I was like, damn, that baby's going to get shaken baby syndrome doing all that. That one's interesting. We got the cow. So cute. That one was pretty interesting. Very unique. For Halloween, it's Robin Williams from Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, yeah. I thought that was funny. With the belly hanging out. We got a pregnant Grinch. I thought that one was funny. There's Shrek. And a little cat. She's sassy. You see how sassy that woman is? I don't know. Is that the Lorax? This is kind of funny. Hold on a minute.
For as long as you like.
We'll watch this and then we'll get into it.
This bag is made.
Oh, wait a minute. It says a warning message from the Lord of Recycling.
This bag is made of plastic. Use it for as long as you like. However, when it is no longer of use,
Hey, cat.
do not leave it in the countryside of the sea. Dispose of it in a refuse container. The wattled belongs to us all. We must protect TT.
1, 2, 3, my baby. I thought that was funny. Okay. Brenda, thank you so much for being a member for 8 months. We've almost got a Halloween baby. We're going to have a Halloween baby. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Brenda says, best chat ever. Thank you. Thank you guys for making it the best chat ever. I greatly appreciate you guys very, very, very much. That was very sweet of you to share that milestone. Cara said, I saw a hilarious family pregnant Halloween costume. The mom was pregnant and she was a gumball machine. The dad was the quarter and their little kid was the gumball. That is adorable. 1987 Halloween. Wow. Almost a month after me, your son was born. I'm only about a month older. Can't help but bop my head to that song. Okay, I do have a quick article. I have 2 articles, but we'll start with this one just to kinda let me get my pencil, my pink pen. We'll start with this one that I saw, and I figured I would share with y'all because it looked interesting. Let me pull it up. So there is an area of interest found in a search for a girl who vanished 52 years ago. Some of you guys might know this case, I don't know. It says Cheryl Grimmer was 3 when she disappeared from Fairy Meadow Beach in January of 1970 from the Grimmer family. A volunteer team using cadaver detection dogs to search for the body of a British child who disappeared in Australia more than 50 years ago has 50 years ago. Lord, I'm already messing up. Let me get a drink of my coffee. Hold on. Real quick, Hedda said, Hedda, good to see you. Ed Jitty Jig, good to see you. Please pray for Manchester, UK. There was a terrorist attack on a synagogue today. 2 are deceased and 4 in critical condition. Oh my gosh. I pray that God puts his hands on that area and keeps y'all safe. I think it was Kalisa also asked for prayers and said that something was going on with their family. It was in my comment section. I do believe it was Kalisa Katz. So please keep them in your prayers as well. I'm so sorry, Hannah. And I hope that everything gets better I hope that everybody's okay and the 4 that are in critical condition get the care that they need and everybody's safe. Dandelion, that's good to see you. There was one a couple of days ago too, yeah, I think. I think the one a couple of days ago, though, it was a Mormon church in Missouri or Minnesota. It's neat how technology is so advanced now that they can go back to solve older cases. I agree. Hey, Kim. Stuck on the road. I'm good. Car's good. They're doing work on the road. So I'm stuck for the moment. Oh, I hate when that happens. Okay, so a volunteer team using cadaver detection dogs to search for the body of a British girl who disappeared in Australia more than 50 years ago has found an area of interest. The group hopes their finding is a breakthrough into Cheryl Grimmer's case and have reported the location to New South Wales police, who are now on the scene. Authorities suspect the 3-year-old, who immigrated from Bristol with her family, was abducted from Fairy Meadow Beach in Wollongong in January of 1970. Quote, a search will be conducted tomorrow with the assistance of specialist officers as part of ongoing inquiries, police told the BBC in an emailed statement. Today, bathed in sun, the beach looks as idyllic as it must have all those years ago. From the sand dunes looking inland, the terrain gradually climbs into dense bushland. A short drive up into the hills, there's a small pocket of woodland on the edge of an upmarket suburb that could reveal a terrible secret. Ballagowey was the location mentioned in a confession made by a teenage boy, also from England, a year after the toddler vanished. Decades later, a judge disallowed that admission. In 2019, a trial of the suspect, known only by codename Mercury, who'd been charged with Cheryl Grimmer's abduction and homicide, collapsed. The man is in his 60s and had denied any wrongdoing. Cheryl's brother, Ricky Nash, was 7 when his little sister vanished. He last saw her in the changing rooms at Fairy Meadow. Quote, this should have been done 55 years ago, he said, as the specialist teams with dogs trained to detect human remains began its work. Quote, my question is, why wasn't it? Quote, yes, it's extraordinary. The police have never canvassed this area in detail, even though they had a confession, not just a confession, a very detailed one. What the hell? Why are they just now bringing cadaver dogs? Brenda, thank you so much for the $9.99. That was so very sweet of you. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let me access the live. Lord, I ain't even done that yet. Getting ahead of myself. Thank you so very much, Brenda. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. Y'all, that helps out so much with FOIAs and things. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, hold on just a minute. I hate the way I have to do this on my phone. Oh, okay. It was a super chat, and I gave it a heart. Thank you so much, Brenda. I greatly appreciate it. That was so very sweet of you. There are lunatics everywhere. A lot of people are praying, Hannah. Julie said, they won't break us. We will and have been pulling together as a community. Amen to that. To everyone who needs prayers for whatever reason, I'm sending lots and lots of prayers from Tbilisi for one and all. I have no idea how to say that, but thank you so much. Y'all are so amazing. That was very generous. Thank you so very much. Why haven't they put cadaver dogs in this area and before now, like 55 years later? That's insane to me. He has spent a lifetime craving answers, but doesn't want to find them here among all the trees and creek, among the tall trees and creek. Lord, he doesn't want to find them here among the tall trees, creek, and bushes. Ricky Nash, who was 7 when his little sister vanished, has spent a lifetime craving answers. Australian Broadcasting Corporation, quote, we always live with the hope that someone took her that couldn't have a child, raised her well. One day she'd grow up, find out she didn't belong to that family. We've had people over the years do that to me and our family, knock on the door and say that they are Cheryl, and your heart rate goes at 1,000,000 to 1. We are hoping for it to be Cheryl one day. So to be here looking for a body or part thereof, I mean, it's not a good thing, Mr. Nash told the BBC. 9-year-old Rufus is the principal search dog. His handler is Chris, the president of Search Dogs Sydney, a charity who'd offer to help the Grimmer family after attending a missing persons seminar in Wollongong. He'd also heard the BBC's Fairy Meadow podcast presented by John Kay, which has been downloaded 5 million times. The K9 team has had success in previous cold cases dating back more than half a century. Last year, they found human remains in a lake in northern New South Wales. Now, Chris's team believe that they have made a potential breakthrough in the Grimmer case. Quote, what we believe we have located is an area of interest and will pass the information to the authorities. The dog showed a distinct change in behavior. Ricky Nash said the news made him tremble. If it is Cheryl out there, she's been there for 55 years now, and she shouldn't have been, he said. The search for Cheryl Grimmer continues after more than 50 years. Belawangi was mostly farmland in the 1970s. Frank Sabatel, a former detective who worked on the Grimmer case, has come to support members of Cheryl's family. They have become close and share deep frustrations about the broader police investigation over decades. To find something after 55 years, I'm hoping we do, but the chances are 1 in a million. It would be like winning 4 lotteries in a row. You've got to use a bit of common sense and be sensible and logical about it, he said. The retired investigator has challenged the individual or group responsible for the toddler's disappearance to come forward. Quote, what about doing something for Cheryl, that little girl you took away, and owning up to what you did and giving families here in Australia and in England some peace, he said. My family has been through so much, and it is a continuous fight, says Ricky Nash's daughter, Melanie Grimmer. Tragedy sends ripples of grief through families. Ricky Nash's daughter, Melanie Grimmer, has 4 children. So she is also anxiously waiting for news of the search at a command post on the side of the road. I know my dad hopes that nothing is found. I hope she's found. I hope the baby girl comes home. My family has been through so much, and it's a continuous fight. I feel sick in my stomach being here, she told the BBC. Much has changed since 1970, but one thing remains steadfast: the determination of a grieving family to uncover the truth. Hold on just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Julianne said that poor family not knowing for 50 years where your baby is. I agree. It is very sad, but it would be better for them to know than not knowing must be the worst. I couldn't imagine. All this makes me feel so bad. I pray he has some kind of closure. I do too. I just wonder why the dogs weren't taken there beforehand. That makes me kind of upset. All right. So after that, let's go ahead and talk about my favorite person in the whole wide world, Stephan Sterns. Oh, y'all know he's my favorite. What the? Ugh. I've sent this stuff to myself like 4 times and I still haven't got all of it. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. I've got some of it, so let me go ahead and pull that up. Dung beetle number 1. He absolutely is. I saw that person in a chat that was like, "Oh, you're talking about your boyfriend, your lover." And I was like, "Oh, you're from over there. Okay." Now I understand. I don't know why you would prefer to watch somebody sleep instead of, watching actual true crime, but I mean, it explains a lot. You attack me and say that about me, and you're over there watching somebody sleep every night. Have fun with that. Oh, that might be it. This might not be coming through because it's a 110-page document. I might have to just download that one straight up. I'm gonna try to send it to myself again, but yeah, it's not gonna let me. All right, I'll have to pull it and download it directly on here. Oh, did you? Yep, I missed it. There it is. You did. Thank you, Edith, for gifting a membership. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. And maybe I can see who it went to. Yes, it went to Foxy Amazon. Foxy Amazon, if you are here, please tell Edith thank you for the membership. And you want the Polar Express. Yes, I will definitely play that. Hey, Rubber Ramada and the Gardening Divas and Bella's Boys. I take it the mother will not be charged. I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say no because the state of Florida has their man. So Jennifer Soto probably will not be charged. No. I think it's part of some kind of deal they made, and then they ended up doing a plea deal. So her immunity interview was no longer useful, but they had already made the immunity interview and made that deal. So it still stood. But again, the state of Florida has their man. There's no reason for them to spend more money. And that's what it all boils down to is money. They're not going to continue to pour money into a case that's already a man's in prison for, already pled guilty to. Case is done. It's over. Which sucks. I wish more than anything she would be charged. Oh, okay. Polar Express, Edith, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Here is the Polar Express for you, my love. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Anders. Thank you so much, Edith. Hey, Cat Nun. Good day, good day, good day. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful if it was. Robert, good to see you. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about Houston. There's some pretty interesting things going on there. Hey, Kelly, I saw that you came in too. All aboard. Okay. So we have documents on Stephan Sterns. I did not print them out. I got these from Plunder. Let me grab. Lord, I don't have my shit together today. I do not have my shit together today, y'all. Let me grab her video real quick. I got this from Plunder's Patreon, but she did a video on it. I want to look at the documents though. Let me grab her video and share it with you guys. We will click over here so I can show you what it looks like if you want to check it out on your own. Hold on. We're going to go right back to that. This is the video. It reads exclusive Stephan Sterns' latest new documents reveal parents moved to a $532,400 home, his prison fear. So I have the actual documents, like I said, that I got from her Patreon, and we're going to go through them and talk about them. And there is a lot. I did not have my shit together today. All right. So I should have printed it out. It's going to be hard for me to see. This is Stephan Sterns' photo identification card. There's his photo. I apologize about my logo being on that. He is a white male with black hair, brown eyes. You know why his eyes are brown? Anybody know why Stephan Sterns' eyes are brown? Do we know why? Do we remember why? Anders said Plunder said she was waiting for jail calls. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for that too. I'm waiting for something that I think everybody will be real interested in when I finally get it from the state attorney's office that I've paid for. Like y'all, I wish I could tell you what it is, but I can't. But I think that all of y'all, especially those of you asking about if Jennifer Soto will be arrested, if they give it to me, if it is what I requested, which is supposed to be, I think that y'all will be very intrigued. That's right. Cindy got it because he's full of shit. His eyes are brown because he's full of shit. His date of birth was April 25th of 1986. He will get his photo taken again in 2030. His head was shaved. They probably do that when people enter the facility to keep the possibility of lice and scabies, things like that down. Did Stern's mommy allow him to talk to other people? Catnun, right now, Stern's mommy is allowing him to talk to guilty of crime solely. Guilty of crime, not in that way. Guilty of crime has a wife, and she has a wife and a daughter. I do believe. I don't know, but she talks to her, and that's about all I know. His eyes are brown because he's full of bullshit. Yes. That could be why he stinks so bad too. That makes sense. All right. So here are a list of sentences. Sexual battery by an adult victim less LT, which will be less than 12. It's all one count, but I mean, it's several charges of the same count. Sexual battery by a manner from the family or familial or custodial authority. Lewd or lascivious molestation victim under 12. And then first degree murder premeditated. All that's redacted. Father, Christopher Sterns. Mother, Deborah Sterns. Personal friend. Jennifer's not mentioned. I probably should not have stayed on that page that long. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up because we don't need any of that information really. Let me also say, please do not contact Deborah Sterns, Chris Sterns, or guilty of crime. I don't mess with her. She don't mess with me. I like it that way. Anders said, does brown-eyed mean the same thing in English? I don't know. I don't know. What does it mean in Swedish, Anders? I'm just saying that. No, not everybody with brown eyes is full of shit. That's something I like to say about Stephan. Okay. This is a authorization from disposition of mail and property. Oh, that's something he had to sign that says that he had to they're allowed to open and examine all of his mail. during the period of my incarceration or in the event of my release or escape, the above designated is authorized to apply any monies on deposit to my account in the inmate trust fund. Okay. If after a reasonable attempt has been made to locate him or her, but to no avail, I authorize the department to dispose of my property in the following manner. So if he was ever to leave, they would donate to charity or destroy his property if he didn't get it back. This is just information about him being incarcerated. He got an ID card for prison. He went to the Central Florida Reception Center, signed all this paperwork. For the record, my signature below certifies that on, Lord, I can't see it, July 23rd of 2025, I received an orientation on inmate grievance procedures from a staff member. There's his signature. That printed name is not pretty, but his mama taught him how to sign his name pretty good. What is this? Smell off? The smell is off? Stinks a little bit? I don't know. Oh, you know she is. Brown brown eyes mean anus in Swedish. I didn't know that. No, Jessica's not listed as a personal friend. That would be horrible. That would make me very upset. I would probably, if that happened, I would call the jail facility and be like, look, y'all need to take me off that shit right now. Please. He smells off. Yeah. It looked like that's what that paperwork said. Smells off. Right here. SMLLOFF. Okay. So is he working? Safety training documentation. Oh, they have to be trained on proper lifting procedures, janitorial facilities and equipment, general safety, slip and fall prevention, injury prevention, bedding, sanitation, utilization of gloves, biomedical waste handling, and hazard communication. I guess that's if he's going to work. Lord Jesus, I can't read that. Hard copy maintenance. List DNA drawn. I guess they got to keep a record of his DNA. Does the inmate have sexual offenses history noted? Yes. Does the inmate a sexual offender or predator requiring completion form? Okay. That's just information about him. Prohibits all felons, whether on probation or parole, from serving in another state. To who it may concern, I, Stephan Sterns, hereby authorize and request every person, firm, officer, corporation, association, organization, or institution having control of my documents, records, or other information pertaining to me to furnish the original copies of any such documents, records, and other information to the Florida Department of Corrections. Copy of, okay, this is just basic paperwork. I don't know that there's going to be anything really telling in it. I probably have to read through it at a later time. According to this protection request, inmate states that he is in fear. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let me get real close to the screen here and read this to y'all. Okay, section 1. Placement in administration confinement or possible protection need from special something. On August 21st of 2025 at 3:30, he said that he needed protection. The description, which is partially redacted, says on August 21st of 2025 at approximately 3:20 p.m., Jeremy Orgren was placed in administrative confinement under protective management per Captain Sullivan. It was explained to inmate Oregon that he was being placed in administrative confinement and was giving a chance to make a statement on his behalf. Inmate Oregon was given, and it's redacted. Inmate Oregon did not have any upcoming visits. Inmate Oregon was given an opportunity to make 3 phone calls. Inmate Oregon's property was inventoried and placed in a property room for storage. The ID card was deactivated by control in the staff room. Review of placement in administrative confinement or possible protection need from special management case. On the 21st of August of 2025 at 8:12, initial review of property, and then it lists staff, approved AC pending, investigation of inmates' need for protection. On August 27th at 13:37, on previous PM's 13 something. Okay, according to this protection request, Officer Turner interviewed inmate Jeremy Oregon. Why are we getting that person's information? For protection needs. Inmate Oregon states that he is in fear of his life or of, it's redacted, probably rape. An inmate okay, they're scared of an inmate with the alias Smoke. And they were in Oscar dorm and Q dorm at the same time with him. Inmate Jeremy states that he has been receiving threats due to them believing he was a snitch due to his charges. Inmate Jeremy states that he was advised that he will be stabbed if he returns to the compound. Inmate Jeremy voluntarily completed a DOC 1122C, which is a witness statement form. Review of GTL Securus phone calls were reviewed during this investigation, and no suitable evidence could be identified in this investigation. Inmate Jeremy will remain in administrative confinement pending a review. The conclusion was inmate Jeremy could not provide the names of the inmates he is in fear of. Attempts were made to identify the inmate with the alias Smoke, but were unsuccessful. Inmate Oregon states that he was not assaulted, only received threats. Inmate Jeremy does have something and is listed as something. Inmate Jeremy has been refusing something and requesting protection since June, and he is released back to the compound. This inmate, it's the inmate's second time requesting protection. Now, I don't understand why that is in Stephan Sterns' documents from jail unless they're using the alias of Jeremy Oregon. And Smoke, do you guys remember? Do you remember that guy Smoke? Hold on a minute. Cara. Septic tanks probably smell better than he does. I bet they do. Oh, control. Let me write that down. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, okay. Let me put this back down here. I'm wondering if because his mama talks to him about things. Oh, that does work. Okay. His mama talks to him about things that happen online like all the time, right? And I don't know if you guys remember, but that guy Smoke came on the internet with T-Rev, another true crime creator. He had a call-in show and he was making money. Anyway, that guy Smoke pretended to be Rick Armstrong, which was allegedly at the time one of Stephan Sterns' friends. And he was like, oh yeah, I knew Stephan when he was younger. And when we were 18, he would always have these little, 12, 13-year-old girls around. And he told me he liked 9-year-old girls. And, he said, it ain't a crime if nobody knows about it. You ain't going to tell on me, are you? It ended up being a whole fucking big ass lie. There was no Rick Armstrong. And T-Rev came out and later admitted it. And so did that guy Smoke. So, like, if this is an alias that they used to describe Stephan Sterns, saying that he was afraid to be on the compound and he was afraid of somebody named Smoke, it just made me think, Smoke, did they get it from the online thing? Is that just something that you would think, to call somebody? Was it something they called the weed man? I don't know. Yeah, that narrows the search, right? Let me find out that Stephan Sterns goes by Smoke and is being a predator in there. No, I think he was saying he was afraid. Whoever this person was said that they were afraid of somebody known as Smoke and that they were being threatened. But basically, the police could not find any way to validate that. So basically, the person was lying. Okay, how do I? Oh, that's how I do it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's gotta be an alias because it says let's blow that up real good on the screen there. Look at that handwriting. Signature, beautiful. Handwriting, good lord. I, Stephan Sterns, am in fear for my life and safety due to the nature of my charges and my high profile status. I have received numerous threats and have good reason to fear. I'm therefore requesting protection on the 19th. But they can't validate any of these threats. Most of that's redacted. There's again a list of his charges. Hold on a minute. I'll tell you the names real quick of the people he listed, but it shows more information than I think I need to be having. There's a friend named Beth, a friend named Lewis, mom and dad, Chris and Deborah. Yeah, Beth, from Orlando, Lewis from Kissimmee, and then his parents are what's listed as his friends. Let me pull it back up now. Yeah, there's no more charges. I might have been spoke, but yeah. This is current location Wakala Annex. My signature certifies that I've received orientation. So this might be when he was moved to Wakala. Yep. Wakala Annex. And then he was moved to whatever. So he was basically scared for his life and got moved to Wakala, which we already do pretty much. He was accepted as of July 22nd at 1:44. That's just records releases. His main offense is sexual battery. That's just documents, records and things like that that they have to have. DR history, yes. Prior escape from secure facility. So I guess that's why he was moved there, or like information. They said that he's a maximum or high risk assessment. He does not have any prior escape from any other facility. Predator information, predator victim non-applicable. Predator, hello, what are we doing? State of Florida, he's a predator. DR history says yes. Overall adjustment is average. length of stay at the annex, I'm assuming, was March 1st of 2024 to July 23rd of 2025. Orange County, if you use private transport company, that was just about the transport. Inmate was found guilty of loaning or stealing property, telephone pin, and anything of value. Remember, we went over those documents and we pulled up the guy he was sharing the pin with, and that's his disciplinary report. So they would have sent that over with him. Basically, his history. Oh, hey, Foxy Amazon. It was Edith. Thank you for coming in and saying thank you. See, there it is again. Smells off. Smells off. There's commissary records as well. Something about a social security number. He had his driver's license as identification. All right, let's go to the next one. I've been trying to get this for a while. Evidently, it's a full commissary history. I don't know how I don't know how Plunder was able to get it, but she was. See, even up to, well, no, that was, yeah, January 15th of 2025, Chris Stearns was still sending him money to get his commissary. And they said that they weren't at one point. So he got his radio. Radio is $20, and then they had to pay shipping. So $30.05 is what he had to pay for basically a little handheld radio. And then here he's got the AAA batteries. He got white tube socks, Rocky boxers, white size large. He got some ibuprofen, some cool winter something mouthwash, anti-shank toothbrush, and toothpaste. The most expensive thing there was boxers. He got one pair of boxers for $10. Oh no, this continues. He got some, it says Sport 3 ounce. I'm going to assume that's some deodorant, an Irish Spring soap bar, some crackers, some hot peanuts, the whole shebang, hot pork rinds, a cinnamon or sour cream and onion chips, hot corn chips, moon pie in the chocolate flavor, lemon drops. This was all on January 23rd. His butterscotch candy, and of course his root beer barrels, his pink sugar, Keef pink sugar. I think that's going to be like them, like wafers. You know what I mean? Mustang, good to see you. Shower in a can. Yeah, something like that. He got 8 packs of ramen, chicken flavored. He got some hot tomato sardines, some FC mackerel in oil, a cherry cheese Danish. That makes me kind of pissed off thinking about Maddie and him referencing her eating a Danish that morning. I feel like he shouldn't be able to get fucking Danishes simply because he said that. He got his coffee, 8 of them as well. He got a pack of hot chili with beans and a pack of beef stew. For that, yeah, guys, again, like we talk about commissary and things like that, it's so expensive. So for this order, I think it's just that one. It was $107.67. Yeah, because this one was on the 18th. No, this one was on, I don't know. I can't tell, but I think it was for all of that is for $107.87, and the total starts right here. Yeah. So for the batteries and the socks and basically stuff so you can take a shower and a little bit of food, $107 damn dollars. They're making a killing. They really are on commissary. Tammy, good to see you. He's going to be a big boy with that diet. Yeah, and they feed you a lot of carbs in there to kind of try to keep you full. But you get hungry. You do. Chrissy knows it all. Good to see you. Said his dad said once he hits prison, he wasn't going to help him out anymore. They were cutting him off. Look, I don't like Stephan Sterns. I damn sure don't like Deb. I try not to talk shit because I don't know what I would do if I was in Deb's situation. Like I said last time when we talked about that, she I don't I think it would be different if, like, CBS News or NBC, was doing an interview with her and she was like, it was Maddie's time to go. God has a plan for all of us, and it was just Maddie's time to go, holding a microphone at a freaking press conference in front of the whole damn world. I give her grace because she was talking on the phone to her son, and you can tell that they say things to just try to make him feel better. I don't think she should have said that, but I also don't think that she ever thought that those would be released and it would come out like that. I don't agree with anything Stefan did, and I hope he rots in that prison. But I genuinely hope that he can figure out a way to continue to buy some stuff, right? Like continue to have commissary or something like that if they do cut him off, so that he can take a shower and not have to use, at least he'll have a toothbrush and some damn toothpaste, because I don't even think the state gives you toothpaste anymore. And something to eat occasionally. Like, I would want that for anybody in there, not just specifically him. I don't think his parents will cut him off completely. I don't think they can. And if Chris does, I think Deb will still give him money behind the scenes. Now, again, he's in prison on 21 life sentences. He's not getting out, and I hope he rots, and I hope it's horrible for him. But I do hope that he can brush his teeth and have something to eat occasionally. Consensual comment. That was a bad one too, Rosie. And she said that in front of the police, but again, I don't know that she ever thought that would be released either. But that consensual comment, yeah, that was hard for me as well. Hey, Wolfpack. A lot of parents say things to make themselves feel better too, like she's in a better place. Yeah. She's grifting on her son's crimes. Disgusting, Deb, 100% in my opinion. Now, she come after me calling me a drug addict and all of that about emailing, releasing the emails and all that. And I disagreed with her completely on that, because I was like, it was always suspected from the beginning that I could have been a YouTube creator. However, you are releasing private emails between mother and son, which I found drastically different than releasing emails that it always was kind of wondered if I was on YouTube. You know what I mean? That comment told me all I needed to know about her, right? His parents have moved, but he told me that in the emails in the beginning. He said his parents had to move due to bullying, or not bullying, but like people coming to their house and basically stalking them. And we see how these cases blow up, and like, hell, David's the singer's parents' house in fucking Texas got swatted the other day. I don't think that anybody should be messing with people's family, or, going to their parents' houses and things like that. But I believed that they had moved at that time, because I believed that people could have been out there. And remember, they were real estate agents. So I don't think it would be a big deal for them to move or have the ability to do so. But I do think his parents are upset that they aren't members of the country club and won't be as well respected in the community anymore. I don't know where they moved at. I don't care where they moved at. I don't want to know where they moved at. Um, Maybe they can start over. I don't know. Brenda, good to see you. Said soon as his candies and treats come in, his newfound friends will be extorting him. Where was the protection for Maddie? This chomo creep CSAM'd Maddie every birthday. Let that sink in. Yeah, there was pictures from like every birthday where he abused her. You're absolutely right. I didn't really think about the extortion thing. I'd heard a lot about it. I hadn't heard a lot about it. I'd heard about it from that one live stream that I got the email information from. And for like the 20 minutes I might have been listening to that, there was a lot of talk of how he would be extorted. I didn't really think that that would happen, but I've been to jail, but not prison. And I've never been on the men's side. I know it's obviously, and but I know it's a lot rougher over there. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be extorted. That one's hard for me to believe it. Like, they might try, but I'm sure Stephan would go and cry like he did and say, I need protection and all this, I don't think at the end he'll be extorted. I don't think Stephan would let himself be extorted either, because he's going to want all of that money for himself. Like, that Stephan's going to do everything he possibly fucking can to keep every bit of that food and everything for himself. Angela said, no, that's not what I saw. The police got a call about a shot being fired and they acted upon it, but handle as should have been, no drama. Are you talking about for David's house where the SWAT was called? I didn't know that, if that's what you were referencing, Angela. Good to see you. Hey, Jill. Good to see you. Inmates will know his parents are giving him money, and they might try to extort him, but I think he'll cry to the guard before they actually get to extort him. Okay. Well, there were shots fired evidently at David's house, from what Angela is telling me, and it wasn't a SWAT call. Thank you for letting me know that, and thank you for the correction. Mustang, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Oh, I like that. That the rock on symbol. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Mustang. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know you're over there in Mark's chat a lot. Please let him know that I think he's doing a great job. Wolfpack said he's in a cush unit, so it's probably no issues for him. Yeah, he's in like a cupcake prison, so he'll probably be safe there. Right? No matter what we think of his parents, they don't deserve to be scared for their safety. I think that they are victims of Stephan Sterns' manipulation too. I agree. You saw the video. We looked at it briefly, but I couldn't quite understand what they were saying. For sure he'll be extorted. That's the hierarchy of it all. Guards don't care. I'm wondering though if he will in that facility specifically, because I don't know. Could be. So he got some King Nut Cajun snack mix on the 30th, or it was shipped on the 30th of January. Oh, it goes back. Okay, so yeah, the 16th is as far as it goes back, and that was the radio. So we're going forward from here. I'm not going to read all of them because, Lord, I'd be here all day. Marilyn, good to see you. Deborah is their own special kind of psycho, too. I agree with that for sure. Yeah, Mark is awesome. He's doing a good job. Someone spoofed their location and called 911 and said that someone was shot and killed. That's why SWAT showed up at David's mama's house. Okay. Yeah, see, things like that shouldn't happen. And again, as much as I disdain Deborah Stearns for what she said about me and how she judged me, I don't think anybody deserves to be swatted. And I don't think that she would have come out here on the damn 9 o'clock news or 6 o'clock news and said, Maddie was consensual. I don't agree with some of the things she said, and I think that her relationship with Stephan Sterns is troubling to say the least, but I don't think she needs to be fucked with. I thought you said I was taking my coworker to Alaska. I was like, "What? Girl, car, what you doing?" Irish Spring soap. Yeah, be careful not to drop it like he'll use it. Irish Spring soap. That stuff always reminds me of jail because you smell it everywhere. That's all you smell is that damn Irish Spring soap. When people are taking showers and stuff, the smell of Irish Spring soap will fill the whole dormitory. And some it just stinks all the time. Clean ones, I guess, is where you'll smell the Irish Spring soap. I don't know why I can't talk today. Okay, so he got some pork rinds, some snack mix. He got 9 beef ramen on the 30th, some cheese buffs, the whole shebang. I want to know what the whole shebang is. Buffalo wing, blue cheese. That's going to be chips or pretzels. Barbecue potato chips. Jalapeno squeeze snacks. There's 3 of them. He's getting stuff to make him a burrito. Yep, there's the beans, the spicy summer sausage. Has he got tortillas? I don't think he got tortillas, so he might not be making a burrito. Some peanuts. Nacho cheese tortillas. See, he's getting all of this and spending like here's 69.46, 55.88. He got a credit of 5.94, probably where they couldn't fulfill, like, something that he ordered wasn't on there and he paid for it, and they'll give it back to you if it's not there. Here, $80, $79.56. And all of this, right? $30 here. While his parents are buying his, the extra meals, they're like $30 a piece. And then, paying for phone calls or whatever. I don't know if he's talking on the phone or not, but like it's a lot of money that they're giving him. It does. Actually, Angela, it does. The army barracks are Pine Sol. I can't use it to clean. I'll take Irish Spring any day. See, it's funny how you remember the smells like that. Shebangs are potato chips. Thank you. They get more stuff than when I was in prison over 20 years ago. They do. Yeah. I was in jail probably about 20 years ago myself. It's been about 20 years, I would say. Well, probably not quite that long, maybe 15. He'll be getting that Bubba beef sausage. Miss King of Anything said, I saw someone talking about that facility, that the protection is basically, it is a really good place to be, but it is strict if you step out of line. You go to the crazy prison and no one wants that. Exactly. Exactly. Let me do a bing bop because that you're exactly right.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
So nobody's gonna step out of line trying to extort him. Like not Mike, Matthew said, I don't think anybody's gonna step out of line trying to extort him or anything like that there because nobody wants to fuck up and be sent away from the cupcake prison where everything's easy. You've got something to do during the day. You can go to classes. I mean, it's more relaxed. They're paying the same as when he lived with Jen. Lori Ann, it wouldn't surprise me to find out that they were paying actually more now. It really wouldn't. So he gets a lot of coffee, 18 coffees that time. For 18 little packs of instant coffee, like small instant coffee, like, I mean, you can maybe make 2 little 4-ounce styrofoam cups of coffee out of it. It's $15. The little 1.75 ounce bag of hot peanuts you get at the gas station for like, I don't know, 50 cents. Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. It's the quantity. So they're 99 cents a piece. That's not that bad. And he got 4. They're 85 cents a piece for the coffee. Spicy for 4-ounce spicy bean and rice, it is $3.05. And you can get that at the store for way cheaper. For a pack of AAA alkaline batteries is $4.60. And that's like the Dollar Tree brand of batteries that he's getting. Snarky said, in my opinion, Deb is a grown woman with a big mouth. She lives in the same world we do, and we all have to learn what we can say and what we can't say. What is acceptable is and what is not. I give her no grace. And I agree with you, Snarky Pants. I haven't seen what she has said that I think what makes it different for me is that she didn't know necessarily that those things were going to be put out online. Now, what she said to me in comments, she absolutely knew that they were being put out online because she was typing it and commenting under my videos. And they were rude, inconsiderate comments. And yes, I get that she was angry, but she still probably shouldn't have said the things she did. And some of the things that she says that she knows is going to be put out here are concerning. And she does have a big mouth. I'll agree with that. I don't hold against her things that she said that she might not have realized were going to be put out on the internet. Probably, Angela. He's probably giving things. I mean, of course, people trade things here and there. He's probably going to try to be one of the people that trade quite a few things so that people will like him to kind of keep himself safe. Smells are highly connected to memories. And yeah, they're spending at least $400. Yep, a month. Yep. If I was putting money on the books, I would give you a certain amount a month and you better budget. I would never support someone like him. My mama would send me $50 a month and I had to figure it out or call somebody else and get them to put money on my books. So here he ordered 16 coffees. I mean, I'm not going to go through like each and every single solitary thing. I do have these on my Patreon and Plunder has them on hers as well. I mean, he orders a lot of like hot peanuts, chips, refried beans, ramens, coffees. what is this? Snickers chocolate peanut, M&M chocolate peanut, a 20-ounce Sprite, 20-ounce Faygo peach soda. It's interesting that he's got a peach soda after I talked to him about peach Red Bulls. You know how that stuff will get stuck in your mind, and that was on April 18th of 2024. Hold on a minute. I got to see something. I've got the letter of the email. I've got the emails, right? And I'm wondering, because that's probably right around the time I was talking about peach Red Bull. So I'm wondering if I influenced him to order peach Faygo soda. Because I genuinely bet that I did. That it influenced him to do so. Oh, Lordy Jesus. It's in a playlist. I'm over here looking, y'all. Sorry. There. No, I don't want for two where I think these go, yeah, from the beginning to the end. Lord, they don't got no damn chapters. I need to put chapters in the for two. I just need to see the date. April 3rd. And that one was like April 4th, right? Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, no, April 18th. Okay, and this email is from April 3rd. That's April 5th. Yeah, that's the 5th. 5th. Hold on, y'all. The 6th. I really want to find out if this one has chapters, but not the date. Lord have mercy. Anyway, I think it was I was talking to him about the damn peach Red Bulls right about that time. Hold on a minute, y'all. I need to take this phone call. Hold on just a second. Okay, I apologize. That was an important phone call I had to take. So, yeah, it was around then. I don't know. I'm going to go back and look through it. But around the 18th, I'm sure I was talking to him about Peach Red Bull. And I remember Rubber Amata was talking about she had to go get a Peach Red Bull because we were talking about it at that time. So I think I influenced him to want to get a Peach Faygo. It's just interesting to me that he got Peach. Rebecca said the video I saw David's parents' home was reported for shots fired didn't happen. Textbook swatting. Yep. Deb breeds standard poodles and substandard humans. Evidently, them poodles is like expensive and can do some things. You know, they're trained to like be able to tell if somebody's having a heart issue or something like that. It does appear in his defense that he gets Faygo peach soda a lot. So maybe it's just something that he likes. I don't know. Because he gets it every day, like even the 25th. We stopped talking, I think it was the first week of July. These are more commissary orders. And that's going to be when he was at the other prison before he was moved to Wakala. I mean, and this just goes on and on and on and on and on if you guys want to look at his commissary orders. All right, I'm going to pull this other document up, and it's 110 pages, and I have no way to do it with a watermark, but please make sure, if you have not, which I'm sure most of you are, that you go and subscribe to Plunder, because I definitely got this from her. I have submitted a request to Florida DOC, but they're hitting me back with you can't have the information, da 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 da. So I'm very grateful to Deb, not Deb, I was reading your comment, Tammy, to Plunder for dropping these documents on her Patreon. Tam said, Deb's comment did away with any empathy for me. She should have had enough common sense not to blame a 13-year-old for her son's crimes. And I agree with that. Does it change? Do you feel any different thinking that she said it in private? Like, I can see it both ways. Like, saying that and not thinking the whole world is going to hear it is one thing, but I can also see it as, saying that and thinking the whole world's not going to hear it. That's what you really think. That's the truth of the situation. That's how you really feel. You really feel like Maddie came on to him and it was consensual. And you said that in Stefan's defense when Stephan wasn't there. It's not like you were saying, to him, oh, it was Maddie's time to go. God had planned for her to go to heaven to try to make him feel better. No, you said that to the police at your house when Stephan was nowhere around. So it does make a difference. Nope, disgusting period. Disgusting period. Her saying that tells me she knew too. Right. That's interesting. And if she knew, why didn't she do anything about it? Kim said, I think it was Law and Crime or Banfield that had the body cam footage. The police told his mama that someone from inside the house called and reported shots and a dead body. The cops showed up on Mama Duke's house. For David, yeah. The number that called and said that she didn't know that number and that it was out of state number. And then the cops told her that the person who called phone pinged to her house. So that means they used a VPN and pinged it to her address. Hey, that's an interesting situation. Saying or thinking a child enticed a grown man, Lord have mercy. I agree. She's her own special kind of evil. And I think we all agree that when we heard her say that she was consensual, we were all over here like this.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
Like, I can't. So maybe, I mean, it makes it different that she said it without knowing that it was going to go to the public, but it also tells us what she really thinks about everything. Jenny Jones said, nope, she still said it out loud. Tom says she just can't accept her son as a convicted homicider and child fondler. Abraham, good to see you. I think she meant it as in when God calls us, we must go. But in this case, she didn't die in an accident or a natural cause. It was at the hands of her monster. Have a seat, Deb. Oh, yep. Ma'am. Take 15 motherfucking seats, ma'am. I agree. But what the one specifically that we were talking about would be her saying that Maddie was consensual. That wasn't said around Stephan or, in his defense. It was said to the police. Oh, wow. There is some kind of fucked up relationship between them two for damn sure. So you can see my little mouse over here. I mean, I'm just scrolling and it's not even halfway down. Lots of hot peanuts, root beer barrels and chips, mackerel, protein. Order from max limit. So the most they can order is $120 worth of food a week. And he was getting about $60 a week. Oh, no. I don't know why it says, oh, commissary is $60 a week, and then non-food items is $60 a week, which makes the max limit 120. But here he only had $26. That one, he got his coffee, butterscotch candy, and root beer barrels. All right, I need to go over here to Patreon because this other document that I have not looked at is 110 pages. And because of that, I cannot watermark it and send it to myself. But again, like I said, this is from Plunder. She's got so much great stuff on her Patreon, videos, interrogations, all kinds of amazing, amazing things. So definitely check her out. Let me see. Okay, so it's the inmate file. And I have it on my Patreon as well. So definitely check them out. All right. I've got it. Let me pull it up. Hold on just a minute. Oh, yeah, please hit the thumbs up. Oh, let me do my twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Hold on. Oh, no, it's not letting me scroll. Hold on, y'all. I got to yeet myself. I'll be right back. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Now I can scroll. Please hit the thumbs up, y'all. Stop hating, start participating.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle. Carr said, in my honest opinion, I find it ironic that she's out here saying Jenny knew, yet she made that comment about it being consensual. She knew too. If they arrest Jen Soto for knowing, they need to arrest Deborah too. That's interesting. The thing about it is, though, I seriously doubt that any of them will get arrested, if I'm being honest. Thank you, Mustang. Twinkle Toes, Stephan Sterns. Oh, we don't white knight child unaliving and see Sam here. No, ma'am, we sure do not. Their relationship was something, Marilyn. Yeah, he needs protein. I know where he can get some. All right, let me stop. Okay, so this is going to be the inmate record. It might be documents like we just read where it's going over, here, this DNA collection, your social security, here's the rules and procedures, here's what you got to do, da 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 da. We'll see what it says. Oh, they check for warrants and all that. Okay. January 10th of 2025, his personal inventory was 9 books. That's probably the books they wouldn't let him keep. This email, he filed something. I don't know if that's the file to move him or where he was like getting upset with them about them keeping his books. And again, I find it interesting that they had to make remember when he was talking about in the emails that they wouldn't let him have his manga comic books and all that, and that one CO was messing with him and wouldn't let him have his stuff, and it wasn't restricted in the list of things that, the list of the type of books you can send. And they were saying, well, they restricted it now. I find it interesting that the state of Florida had to restrict manga comic books specifically because of Stephan Sterns. They did not want him to have the manga comic books, so they made an exception and said, now these books are also not acceptable. You cannot have them here because of Stephan Sterns. I find that absolutely delicious. Their relationship is still something. Can I get an amen?
Bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Definitely is. Dysfunction junction. Where is it?
This is some dysfunctional shit.
That's what I think about. Hey, Ellid. Where's Ellid? Ellid B. Peaches McClure. Good to see you, my love. Where's Ellen? Ellen. Eileen. Eileen B. Hello. Good to see you. You nasty. I thought the same. Lots of protein in there. There damn sure is. All right. Florida courts e-filing. Transfer 10 commitment pack. I think this is his filing, so because where he was getting transferred. So there's his judgment and sentencing thing. Main charge was capital felony of first degree homicide, life without parole. Victim impact statements read on record state the e-file withdrawal of notice of death penalty, intent to nolle prosecute counts 21 through 60, but he's still got 21 life sentences. We know all of that. What is this? What's this? Holds? One active hold. He had an active hold. There he is looking with his hair and his beard. Just gives us information. Inmate J. What do we got? Okay. He was confined. There's the in color photo. Hold on. That's as much as I can zoom in. Before he shaved his head. Booked my flight and hotel, so nervous. Also, the size of the Atlanta airport versus San Francisco is wild. Or SFO. You'll be fine. Flying is pretty cool. I bet that dumbass still believes he will get out one day. Probably. Hey, Sosa. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Okay, let me zoom this out. Oh, no, I'm going in. Dang, I thought that was all I could zoom in. Look at that ugly mug right there. I just can't imagine somebody. Ugh. Could you imagine? God. And then the way he looked with his shirt off and just, oh, God. I can't even fathom it. What is this? I certify the following personal property items were returned to me by Stephan. A white towel, inmate handbook, plastic cup that was tan, his laundry bag, slip-on sheet that was blue, a flat sheet, plastic shoes, uniform, and pillowcase. He gave his pillow to somebody. And his blanket. We would do that before we left too. Oh, maybe not. His uniform, a black wallet, a Florida driver's license, an Orange County check for $16.81, and a bunch of 40 paperback books were returned to him. So he got transferred Tuesday, July 22nd. Maybe. Commitments uploaded via e-portal. Unreturnable, unacceptable book placed in inmate property. Harlequin romance novels. Remember, what did he say? Them romance novels were ovulation starters or something to that effect. Speedle, good to see you. Plunder is great, but a bit too religious for me, so thank you for updating. I like her. Astro, there was a terrorist attack in Manchester earlier today at a synagogue. Is Astro in here? Oh, the Astro from space. Good to see you. Not a serial homicider in Houston. Oh, we're going to talk about that probably here in just a minute. I don't know what we're going to get from this. Inmate refused breakfast on July 4th. I wonder if he was a little bit upset about not seeing fireworks. He showered June 19th. A lot of these are the same. Refused breakfast tray. He did shower. He showered. It's funny that he's got a couple of refused showers, but it does say that it appears that he did shower. Look, okay, you remember we were writing until the beginning of July, actually about July 4th. And it appears that he had started showering a little bit more. Now down here, he's refusing shower, refusing lunch tray, refusing shower, refusing breakfast tray. Then he did shower April 10th. Before that, his last shower was, Lord have mercy, March 8th. Are we taking a shower once a fucking month? Here on March 8th, he showered. And then there's a bunch of refused breakfast tray, refused shower, refused dinner tray, hardcover book placed in inmate property, refused use of the phone but received the tablet, probably when he was writing emails, refused shower, refused breakfast. Loaning or stealing property, telephone pin, or anything of value. That happened March 26th. 6th, and his recreation was revoked. He refused breakfast tray, refused lunch tray, lost a book, refused breakfast, refused shower, refused breakfast, refused lunch, refused shower, was escorted to program room to meet with attorney, refused shower. He was found guilty for sharing his telephone pin, refused shower, refused lunch tray, refused shower, refused breakfast tray, and then showered Tuesday, April 10th. That motherfucker did not shower for a damn month, y'all. For a month, he did not shower. Let's see what it was before then. Refused. Okay, so February 16th, he was escorted to medical for a shower. And then it appears that he does not have a shower until March 8th. He's literally taking a shower once a month, y'all. Y'all.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
This was the middle of summer, too. You know, he's stinking from places that you don't even know you got. And showering once a fucking month. Lord have mercy. Need to get Mystical in there to go sing the shower song. Take a bath. Wash your ass. Take a bath. Show me what you're washing with. Jennifer missed the smell of Stephan's ass when he wasn't living there anymore. You know what, Anders? Exactly.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
She's probably tried to recreate the stench of Stephan in a candle. She's making her own candles now, trying to recreate the Sterns stench. That's like the worst case of swamp ass I ever seen in my damn life, y'all. That is insane to me. What did he do? Oh, no, you're good. This is Stephan Sterns. He raped and killed a little 12, just turned 13-year-old girl. Didn't Maddie say he was gross and stank? She did. She called him stinky. Well, he said that in some of the emails, but he said they would take him to medical for a shower. Like, he was like, oh, it wasn't on there because they would take me to medical for a shower, and I preferred to go there anyway. That's why it says on there that I keep refusing showers. Like, he got a little bit defensive about it in them emails. Lord knows, I don't know which one it is. There was like freaking 30. emails, but he talked about, I didn't shower because they would take me to medical and I preferred to go to medical. But damn, I mean, it said on here that he took a shower in medical and then the next shower was in the regular. You're good. I don't think Jen will be arrested, no, unfortunately. I wish that she would, and I hope that I'm wrong. I genuinely hope that I'm wrong on that. But the state of Florida has their man that has pled guilty to the charges, and they're not going to waste money on pursuing her when they've got their man behind bars that committed the crime, in my opinion. Tammy, they could. Um, when we were in jail, there was people that wouldn't shower, and we would complain about the smell to the COs. And like after a couple of days, if they still didn't shower, the COs would come in and escort them to the shower. But you'd have to have somebody complaining, and he's in solitary, so they probably didn't complain. It is. All right, I know this is not 110 pages of just that. So I want to see what else it is. Charges. That's all of his charges they're listing. He was issued a towel, a handbook, a plastic cup, a laundry bag, slip-on sheet, flat sheet, plastic shoes, uniform, WLC pack, and a pillowcase. This is just charges. To say, is it gonna spit buddy going after Jen? Exactly. That's my thought process on that. I wish they would. That would make me so happy to know that she got held accountable for what she did, but I don't think they will. Victim notification. So what, Jennifer was notified? What is this? Case information sheet. There is no bond. Life without parole. By courthouse. Sexual battery. Possession. Sexual battery. Premeditated homicide. What is this? I still can't figure out what these are. Like, does it just list his stuff? Bond stayed. You got life without parole. Okay, hold on. My headphone is down. This just appears to show his charges and things. I have a set of like Bluetooth headphones, but they last for about 3 hours. So like I'll put one in my ear and let the other one charge. That's why I'm always changing them. The mom is so incredibly culpable. Florida really messed up for only going for their guy and being satisfied with that sick. I agree. I think that she should have been held accountable from the beginning. I mean, we had Harmony Montgomery's case, and her stepmom was held accountable to an extent and still testified against Adam Montgomery. Like, why couldn't we do that? I don't understand. Like, they all appear to be the same. Just list 2 charges at the end. Maybe it's a page for each charge. Sexual assault, it's the same. Sexual assault. Sexual assault. Like, they're all the same. So it must be one for each charge or something. Molest a victim less than 12 years old. Yeah, this is just like listing his charges. Warrant, arrest, bond stayed at 0. Let me see if it's just this all the way down. Yep. They're all the same. What's this? That's listing his charges and taking his fingerprints. Just listing his charges again. Victim impact statements read. The money he's got to pay back. And more printout of his charges. I think that's about it for that. Yep. Okay. The concept of being in prison and not needing a shower is mind-boggling. I agree. Does she? Nuh-uh. I would buy it. I would buy her book. I just want to see what it says. I would want to know what she writes about in it. I think that, Kelly, I was wondering what all those circles were as well. And I think it was like, you know how when you write a check, you're supposed to put a line. Well, some of y'all might not know because y'all are too young to write checks, but you're supposed to like mark the area so nothing can be written afterwards. I think whoever that was just drew circles instead of like a line so nothing could be written behind it. It would say blah, blah, blah. South Carolina, whose daughter was murdered by a longtime criminal. I don't know. That's interesting that she's writing a book. Okay. So I'm going to talk about two other things just real quick. We got to discuss I've got a David article since we were talking about David. So we'll talk about that real quick. I'm going to do the Houston serial killer last because we're going to deep dive that, and I feel like there's going to be like a lot of information on that we need to go through. So we're going to read this David article, and then we're going to talk about a 14-year-old girl who was given breast implants and a Brazilian butt lift as an early quinceañera present and died. What the fuck? All right. So I saw this article. I've been trying to keep y'all updated, y'all, and I keep seeing these videos that bigger creators are putting out saying, the timeline's changed now and Banfield and things like that. Everybody's talking about stuff that we talked about yesterday or the day before. So I get, I'm like, what is even going on here? Sorry, I had to notate my timestamps. Psycho Talk by Deborah Stearns. That's the name of it. We need to make a book. What's the title? Raising Pedophiles for Dummies? Exactly, Orange Rose.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Yo, I mean, could you imagine her book is going to be like, Jennifer Soto's guilty because she was bisexual and she smoked weed, and Stephan didn't do shit because he's just a precious, perfect little baby boy of mine and he can't ever do anything wrong. And Jen Soto's so fucking guilty. Oh my God. And I'm a victim and Stephan's a victim and we're all victims and fuck everybody else. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. And that makes a difference with her YouTuber. Liddy, good to see you. I don't know if I said hey to you, Liv. So the 21 life sentences, basically he got sentenced to life without the possibility of parole 21 times, okay? A typical life sentence is 25 years. So basically he got 25 years 21 times. So he's never getting out of prison. Like sometimes you could get a life sentence and then you serve 25 years and you could be paroled. But he's never getting out, basically is what that means. He got a life charge for 21 different he got charged and I'm sorry. He got sentenced to life without the possibility of parole 21 times. God, he's here in Florida where it's Satan's bunghole hot with the humidity. Just go into your car and you're covered in sweat and you want to shower daily. And he's in a cement cell block. No AC, only showering once a month. Gross. I agree. 100% yes.
Ugh. Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Famunda cheese and all. I doubt it. What? Unfortunately, we can't prosecute on feelings or perception. Yeah, exactly. If we push for what can easily be proven, like failing to protect, maybe something will be done. But the fact that she knew won't meet the higher burden of proof. Yes, Abraham.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
And the state of Florida is not going to spend money on pursuing charges for her when they've already got their man, in my opinion. What? It's the culture nowadays. What'd you say, Tom? Oh, I don't have it over here. That's the first comment I have. Let me see if I can see it over here. Oh, it didn't show it. Tom said, I know a surgeon in Newport Beach, California. He has parents that get their daughters breast jobs and butt lifts for their daughter's high school graduation present. What? That is so disturbing. They had to be over the age of 18, though, and this little girl was 14, which is insane to me. But let's, okay, computer, can you stop being bipolar? Lordy have mercy. All right. So I'm going to read the David article so we can talk about that case. I saw it this morning, y'all. It was the first thing I saw. I woke up to it and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I saw that the case, we're going to watch it in just a second, but I woke up and I was like,
What in the fuck knuckles is this?
I could not believe it. She would, in my opinion. I agree. Kat said, Abraham, how about charging her with neglect? She doesn't even know how her daughter got to school the day she disappeared, nor what she was wearing. I mean, there's a lot of things I feel like we could charge her with. The issue would be, would the state of Florida spend money on it after they've got their man in prison for the rest of his life that pled guilty to the crime? And even if they did pursue charges, they've got to feel like they're going to get a conviction without a reasonable doubt. All right, so this says, who is David and why hasn't he been arrested? Everything we know about the investigation. That's an interesting photo. R&B artist David Burke, known to fans as D4VD, became a breakout star with the viral hits like Here With Me and Romantic Homicide. But in September 2025, his career collided with tragedy. Authorities discovered the body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez inside his Tesla in LA. The case has dominated headlines and fueled intense social media speculation. Many fans are asking the same question: why hasn't David been arrested? Law enforcement officials say the investigation is ongoing. The manner of death has been ruled a homicide, but the cause of death remains deferred. That's new, I think. The manner of death has been ruled a homicide, but the cause of death remains deferred. We knew it was deferred. Police cannot establish criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body without determining exactly how Celeste died. Until toxicology and forensic testing provide answers, no arrest can be made. They discovered her on September 8th inside the Tesla belonging to David. Authorities had towed the vehicle from Hollywood after it sat parked in the Hollywood Hills for weeks. The car accumulated multiple parking tickets and neighbors reported a foul odor. Neighbors reported a foul odor. Then it was towed, and then the tow yard found the foul odor. Police searched the impound and found the heavily decomposed human remains wrapped in a plastic bag in the front truck. They believe she had been dead for several weeks before being found, and the condition of the body complicated the autopsy. The LA medical examiner has identified her and issued a death certificate. She was not pregnant at the time of her death. They classified the manner of death as homicide, yet the case remains deferred pending test results. Rivas was a teenager from Lake Elsinore, California. They reported her missing several times in 2024. She was first reported missing at age 13 in April, and authorities reported her missing at least 2 more times that year. Friends of Burke told reporters they believed she was 19 and a University of Southern California student. She often accompanied him to social gatherings, clubs, and parties. Law enforcement later confirmed she possessed multiple fake IDs, which likely gave her access to age-restricted venues. Burke's friends described her as both shy and quiet. Celeste appeared to follow his lead in nearly everything. The LAPD has investigated Rebus's death since September. They confirmed key details. They towed the Tesla after it sat parked for several weeks, and she had likely been dead for several weeks before discovery. Quote, "We know for sure that Celeste Rebus Hernandez died and someone placed her in the body of the front trunk area of David Burke's Tesla. Meanwhile, the investigation remains active." I'm just kind of skimming through. They seized computers and electronic devices for forensic analysis, and he canceled his tour dates. They have not confirmed that Burke or anyone else is a suspect. Without medical confirmation of the cause of death, they cannot determine if anyone has criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body. The answer comes down to legal process and forensic evidence as to why David hasn't been arrested. Investigators need probable cause to arrest David, but right now they don't have it. Authorities have ruled the manner of death a homicide, yet the cause of death remains undetermined. Consequently, the LA medical examiner deferred the cause of death, requiring additional testings and studies to make the determination. Without knowing how she died, prosecutors cannot file charges. Was it strangulation, blunt force trauma, poisoning, overdose, another cause? The answer remains unclear. It remains unclear whether criminal culpability exists beyond the concealment of her body. Circumstantial associations exist. Her body was discovered in Burke's car. However, circumstantial evidence is not enough to build a criminal case. They need forensic evidence directly linking someone to her death. For this reason, police have cautioned against rushing forward. Naming a suspect without sufficient evidence could compromise the entire investigation. Online pressure is not going to make them do anything. It says police move carefully, but social media has not. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram fans and critics have circulated theories. Many point fingers at Burke. Viral posts dissect his lyrics, stage presence, music videos, and tour cancellation as supposed clues. A resurfaced podcast interview shows Burke discussing the dark inspiration behind Romantic Homicide. He explained he created an alter ego based on an anime detective with a murderous side, similar to Fight Club movie. His videos feature graphic imagery, and we've looked at that. Messages from Discord showing Burke, then 17, messaging a user named Celeste, and she would have been 12 at the time. And then someone leaked the song named Celeste. Nevertheless, officials warn that public speculation is not a substitute for forensic evidence. They need toxicology results, and that will determine whether he can be arrested. Ultimately, it depends on science, and the autopsy results will determine the cause of death. Burke has withdrawn from public life since the discovery. He canceled the remainder of his tour, ended his Los Angeles lease, and has gone silent on social media. His exact location remains unknown. Brands like Crocs and Hollister pulled promotional content featuring Burke. His label pulled promotion for a deluxe version of its album, which the label had scheduled for release around the time authorities discovered Reva's body. A spokesperson for Burke told NBC that he is fully cooperating with authorities. However, LAPD Captain Williams later stated he could not confirm whether Burke was cooperating, and he's not made any public statements. Now, again, they'll say you're not cooperating just if you have a lawyer, which is something that everybody should have, especially if you find yourself being questioned by the police. Abraham said that's why they're moving on from Jennifer Soto. What'd you say? That was just one case in the state of Florida. Imagine how many others the state has to prosecute that just don't make it on the news. Again, yes, Abraham.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
And that is why I believe they're not going to prosecute Jennifer Soto. Speedle said, well, at least Well, at least need Florida to update us on Jen. I bet she looks absolutely crazy if she's been in the mental hospital as long as we suspect. She hasn't been in the mental hospital that long. She went there right after everything happened. Allegedly, Deb's YouTuber knows somebody that had seen her out in public probably about 6 months ago, um, wearing a big hat and sunglasses. I think she was going to a vet or something to that extent. But that's the last I've heard about her. Just like David, she has stayed away from online and the media. Keep in mind that an artist tour can't be possible without sponsors. Once those sponsors pulled out, he has no choice but to cancel it. I agree, and I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Julianne said, I suppose without proving everything is real, they can't charge for SR either. Mm-hmm. His alter ego kills him and places him in the trunk. I didn't even realize that. So Abraham again said in the video, his alter ego kills him and places him in the trunk, not her. Sosa says, did Osa? I need Hio here. I've heard that Jen might be pregnant, which I find interesting. Who's her boyfriend? So, the death of Celeste Rivas remains shrouded in uncertainty. For her family, there are only painful questions and a devastating loss. For Burke, there is intense public scrutiny without formal accusation. Moreover, the case highlights a critical gap. Online speculation moves fast, while forensic investigation moves deliberately and methodically. Until toxicology and autopsy results provide answers, investigators say the case will remain what it is today, an open homicide investigation with no suspect, no criminal charges, and still no answer as to why David hasn't been arrested. Some see his silence as mourning and self-protection during a difficult time. Others view it as avoidance. Nevertheless, police note one key fact. With no charges filed, Burke remains a free man. He is not legally required to speak publicly. Stop jumping. I don't need to know about that right now. Thank you. If it jumps again, I'm just done. Okay. Where was Celeste found? We know that she was found in the frunk of David's Tesla. The LAPD executed a search warrant on the Hollywood Hills home linked to him, and they processed the Tesla for evidence. And will the results of the toxicology report be made public? Authorities typically release cause and manner of death publicly once the medical examiner completes testing. However, they have not given a specific timeline for when the results will be available. Quickly, before we move on, his manager has come out and is evidently going the hell off. So we'll talk about this real quick, and that'll give me time to grab my coffee. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. Okay.
Surrounding the death of Celeste Rivas. New details have come to light surrounding the death of
I'm gonna grab my
Celeste Rivas
coffee.
Hernandez. 3 weeks after the body of the 15-year-old was discovered in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to singer David, her death certificate has been released, stating that the teen was not pregnant, nor had she been pregnant in the last year, per the document obtained by TMZ. The report also said an autopsy was performed on Celeste's body prior to it being released to her family on September 23rd, and that the medical examiner is awaiting toxicology results. The certificate listed the manner of death as deferred, while the LA County Medical Examiner and the LAPD tried to establish how she died. LAPD Captain Scott Williams told TMZ that investigators are trying to determine if she was a victim of foul play or other causes. E! News has reached out to the LAPD but has not yet heard back. Authorities had previously told the Los Angeles Times that they were working to establish a connection between Rivas Hernandez and David, who's
And they've since established the connection, but before we only knew that her manner of that the medical examiner deferred everything. Now they're saying it is a homicide. And, you know, it was weird for us because we were like, okay, well, how can you defer everything and not know what happened when she was allegedly decapitated and put in the trunk? And so it's making me think that they're saying homicide because she was decapitated. But like if she overdosed and then was decapitated, it makes a difference. Excuse me. Still don't understand why he didn't seem to be concerned that his car was missing. It's interesting. I think that, you know, think about being 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, right? Like, and especially for women, like that would be like us being Celeste age, like 12, 13, 14, 15, because women mature faster than men usually, okay? And if you were hit with stardom, you had millions of dollars and, you know, the ability, you have a car, a house in the Hollywood Hills, you're making money, you're doing all these things. I'm sure there's people around him that are using the shit out of him. And I'm sure that he's allowing it to an extent, you know, thinking that they're friends. And so I think a lot of people had access to his Tesla. I think if you were a close friend of David's, you had access to a lot of things, probably keys to his house and things like that. I mean, because, you know, at that age, we would not have been as responsible as we are as a, you know, as adults. I mean, think about, you know, high school, going to parties and things, or like the local crash house. I know there was places that like we had friends that were renting apartments and the damn house was full constantly. And you know, people had access to everything. So I think he parked his car there and he was on tour and he didn't necessarily know that it was even missing, you know what I mean? He did report the car stolen. Hilson House of Crazy, good to see you. I'm gonna play this video and I'll double check that real quick.
Real name is David Anthony Burke.
Oh,
It's more than a light.
ad. Hold on.
And that the case was being investigated by robbery homicide detectives with the LAPD. The singer has yet to comment publicly on the case. However, a spokesperson for David had previously told NBC News that he was, quote, fully cooperating with the authorities. Rivas Hernandez was found on September 8th at an impound yard after police were called to check the Tesla due to a, quote, foul odor coming from a vehicle.
So here I asked David reported Tesla stolen. It says Fox LA reporter Rivas had, Fox Los Angeles reported that Rivas had been missing since April of 2024. TMZ noted they spoke to the teen's mother, who indicated her daughter had a boyfriend named David at the time of her disappearance. The media outlet noted that the Tesla registered to David was never reported as stolen. So that puts to bed a rumor or you know, speculation or maybe a misunderstanding that it had been reported stolen. Let's check another state. It says never. Tesla registered to David was never reported as stolen. I remember out of Oregon or something. I said David reported Tesla stolen in a different state other than California. A private investigator is making public what he says is the towing report for David's impounded Tesla, in which the remains of Celeste was found, and that's going to be SF investigates. And we've looked at the tickets and all of that, but that doesn't even bring up anything about it. So I'm thinking that because in that it said never reported stolen. Yeah, that's just saying it was ticketed 11 days beforehand. But as you saw, AI is not going to pull it up now that I'm trying to find it again. It said never reported stolen. So I'm thinking that maybe it hadn't been.
The body was later identified as the teen who had been reported missing on April 5th, 2024 from Lake Elsinore, California. The Tesla had been parked near a home in the Hollywood Hills, which law enforcement sources told ABC News that David had been renting prior to the start of his world tour at the start.
And Hilton House of Crazy, there's been a lot that has been made up in this case. And I'll never understand why people do that. Like, what, you're going to get maybe 1 million hits on that video. Okay, but you ruined your name. You ruined your channel, your name, your good standing. Like, why would you do that? Just find the facts and report the facts. I don't get it. I hate when that happens too. It pisses me off so bad, Hilton House of Crazy. Angela said the report states that residents called it in as an abandoned car and it was towed. I guess time will tell. I believe that. I don't think it was necessarily stolen. Maybe he thought someone with access to the car had it or was using it. His tour was during the time in question. Yep, he went on tour August 4th, I do believe. I could be wrong on the exact date, but I seem to remember a date of August 4th. And I'm wondering if he left the car there with her so she could use it. I shouldn't be crazy how much I know. It's insane. And even the news are getting some stuff wrong, on this Hilton House of Crazy. But like when people deliberately do it, oh, I hate it. I'll block them. No, David Burke has not reported the car stolen. That's what I found too. Thank you, love. Yep. I don't know how y'all like his music. It's so bad, and the lyrics look like they're written by a child. Well, mentally, in my opinion, he was a child. It took me. We listened to it like 4 times. No, it was 2 times, and I was like, I mean, it kind of grew on me a little bit. It's not something I would choose to listen to, though. But Cassie was missing months prior. At least that's what I heard. So, Celeste was missing she was reported missing April of 2024. But then we found the video of her on her birthday, which would have been September of 2024, yelling at the neighbors outside of her house. So she had been back to her mother's house while she was reported stolen, reported missing. Lord, where is my mind today? He is still a child. So her family had seen her after she had been reported missing.
Part of the summer. Detectives obtained a search warrant for the property, according to the LA Times, with law enforcement sources with knowledge of the case telling the outlet that they had recovered various items from the home, including electronics and computers.
Okay, so that was just a video on it, but this article is titled David's Manager Address Celeste Rivas Hernandez Death Investigation. David's manager is addressing the controversy. Josh Marshall has spoken out amid the investigation into Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in a Tesla registered to David Anthony Burke. And among the rumors he is shutting down is that he received an email from Rivas Hernandez's family in 2024 informing him that she was missing. Quote, "This has been a tough time for my family as I am the father of 3 children," unquote. Marshall, who goes by J Mogul Online, wrote in the comments of a TikTok addressing the rumors, which he confirmed to LA Mag were written by him. Quote, "I never received any emails. I had zero knowledge of anything, and I don't live in California," unquote. Quote, "Also, I work remotely 95% of the time, and my job doesn't require me to have much interaction with any of my clients / David, as there are many others that work with him on a day-to-day capacity, not me. This news is tragic for so many and for her family. I hope the proper authorities get to the bottom of it soon," unquote. In addition to a noting, quote, "A lot of this is speculation and alleged," Marshall concluded with, quote, "In the meantime, I am with my family, helping them emotionally get through the news of this tragedy," unquote. It's interesting that he's trying to help his family get through the news of the tragedy. I wonder if he had introduced David to his family, especially if he has 3 children of his own. Maybe they like David's music, and him trying to be a good dad said, "Hey, I know you like David. Do you want to meet him because I'm his manager?" And maybe they had seen him or met him a couple of times and found out he was deceased. Abraham said, my friend with the Tesla said that the recording feature is standard and not a service you pay for. As long as the USB is inserted in the car, the recordings will be saved. And if I had to guess, I would say that anybody around his age probably wouldn't know that. And hopefully the USB is in there and it's saved. I don't know. Lucky my brain isn't oozing out of my ears with some of the stupid bullshit I've heard today. I'm with Southern Cats. Exactly, Cara. I just don't see someone with a star on the rise going through these links. He's definitely responsible for harboring a minor, but I doubt of her death. I agree. I find myself on the fence about it a lot. Like sometimes I think he did it, sometimes I don't. I would take what the manager says with a grain of salt. He has a vested interest in this. Tom, you are correct.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
You are correct. We do need to keep that in mind. The music manager's comments come as more information is coming to light about the state of Rivas Hernandez's body when it was found after she was reported missing in April of 2024. On September 30th, police shared that the 15-year-old may have been dead for several weeks before her body was discovered on September 8th, meaning she was likely 14 at the time of her death, her body being discovered one day after what would have been her 15th birthday. Quote, the vehicle had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks. So Miss Rivas Hernandez may have been deceased for several weeks before the discovery of her body. The investigation into the teen's death, however, remains ongoing. Quote, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has not yet determined the cause or manner of Miss Rivas Hernandez's death. As such, it remains unclear whether there is any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body, unquote, police said. While a spokesperson for David, who has canceled his tour in the wake of the discovery, confirmed to NBC News the romantic homicide singer has been informed about the case and is fully cooperating with authorities, he has otherwise remained tight-lipped. Rivas Hernandez family, meanwhile, are mourning the loss of a beloved daughter, sister, cousin, and friend. So basically, just going through and reading exactly what this article says that he said, the manager said, this has been a tough time for my family as I'm the father of 3 children. I never received any emails. I had zero knowledge of anything, and I don't live in California. Also, I work remotely 95% of the time, and my job doesn't require me to have much interaction with any of my clients, including David, as there are many others that work with him on a day-to-day capacity, not me. This news is tragic for so many and for her family. I hope the proper authorities get to the bottom of it soon. A lot of this is speculation and alleged. In the meantime, I am with my family, helping them emotionally get through the news of this tragedy. Just to recap specifically what the manager said. No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, well, I see, that's another thing that I'm kinda on the fence about. Allegedly, she was decapitated because they talk about her fitting in that trunk. A lot of places have reported that she was decapitated, including news channels and things like that, but, um, it hasn't been confirmed. So, I'm not sure about that. Like, I'm kinda on the fence about that, but it has been reported in the news that she was decapitated. Yeah, eventually someone will be arrested. Yep. As they should. That was a baby. That was a 14-year-old little girl, and we're about to talk about another 14-year-old little girl. Snarky Pants said he was willing to risk everything for a secret illegal relationship, so who knows what he would do. I think he loved her, y'all. I really do. I think he was, like, obsessed with her. Unhealthily obsessed. Guess he just established his alibi covering his managerial tracks. I agree, Cat None. They will get it figured out after various forensic examination of all the digital evidence and phone records. Yep, I agree. I hope so as well. Said the Tesla will tell us what we need to hear. Yep. That's what we got to wait for. We don't know she was decapitated. We just know her body had bad decomposition. But yeah, and that's where I'm at with it, Julianne. But like, there's several news articles that I've read that said she was decapitated. So it's like, okay, was she, or y'all just saying that? Was that a rumor from the beginning? Have we verified that? Love or lust? That's a good question. I also feel like when the public pushes the DA for charges that are not yet warranted, it pisses them off, so they do the opposite. Let's push for the obvious, which is harboring a minor. I agree. I agree. All right. So we're about to jump over here to this story, which, again, I'll remind you, I woke up this morning, this popped up on my news feed, and again, I was like,
What in the fuck knuckles is this?
y'all, it's horrible. It's horrible. Hilton House of Crazy, thank you for becoming a member. I greatly appreciate that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate that so very much. I will play our new members clip, the Halloween clip. Y'all let me know if you like this or not. Like, if you don't think it's that cute or anything, let me know. If you think it needs a different song, like if there's anything you would change about it, let me know so I can fix it for y'all. Thank you so much, Hilton House of Crazy, for becoming a member, and I will come pick you up on the haunted train. Yes, Brenda, the trunk, it was the frunk or the front truck. Yep, they call it a frunk. Thank you, Becky. Abraham said, yes, welcome to the family. Because a Tesla is an electric car, it does not have a motor, therefore the front is used as a second trunk called the frunk. Yep. I thought there was a main trunk and then the front, which is like the little area behind the engine. Yeah, like Abraham said, because it's an electric car, it does not have a motor, therefore the front is used as a second trunk and it's called the frunk. Y'all like the haunted train? Okay, cool. If Stearns had one, it would be a skunk. No doubt. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna just let this play for a second. I mean, y'all, like I said, I couldn't believe it. Listen to this shit right here.
An absolutely shocking story out of Mexico. A 14-year-old girl is dead just days after her plastic surgeon stepfather allegedly performed multiple surgeries on her. And her father reportedly saw the scars during funeral services. So now he's demanding an investigation into the doctor for allegedly doing the surgery and his ex-wife for allowing it. And he wants to know if the ill-advised surgeries contributed to his daughter's death. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Okay, I want to pause right here and I want to go back to this picture right here. Okay, so she's evidently married to a plastic surgeon who performed a surgery on a 14-year-old, y'all. He gave her a BBL, breast implants, and liposuction. That little girl right there. 14 years old, liposuction, breast implants, and a BBL. Are you fucking serious? And then let's look at the mom. She's obviously had a nose job and it looks fucked up. I'm sorry, but it does. And I think she's had lip injections, which they might look okay. I can't tell, but because of the face she's making. But like, she looks scary to me. I don't like the way she looks. She's definitely been worked on and it don't look good. Like, I'm thinking that this plastic surgeon might not have been that good of a plastic surgeon. Right. Y'all, fucking 14 years old. It was evidently a birthday present for her 15th birthday or her quinceañera. Fucking a breast implant. The child, she ain't even had time to grow breasts. What the fuck are you doing? Liposuction? Really? Look at her. She's skinny. God, she ain't nothing but skin and bones. Wearing makeup like that there too, like looking so much older. I was pissed, Angela. You haven't. And he's her stepfather. And like, what? Yeah, liposuction. You like it, Cindy? Thank you for letting me know. Yo, I can't. She had cheek implants. The mother did too. I couldn't tell, but it looked like something. 14 years old aren't mentally capable of making rational decisions about something like that, even if it was legal. Yes.
Bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Exactly. Should nobody under the age of 18 be going under any kind of surgery? I think you should be like 21 before you can have anything because you still ain't an adult in my eyes at 18. This was in Mexico. Exactly. What did she need liposuction? What the fuck? Yeah, her mama consented, and her damn stepdad, plastic surgeon, did it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? All right.
And check your eligibility to file a claim. This story has ignited a firestorm across the world. And I will tell you, it is an unthinkable situation. A young teenager is dead, and plastic surgery may have been a contributing factor. This is a rapidly developing story out of Durango, Mexico, and we want to talk about the very latest that is coming from this based on reporting from various Latin American outlets. So on September 20th, Carlos Arellano received devastating news that his daughter, Paloma Nicole Arellano Escobedo, was dead. But it is the circumstances around her death that are maybe murky at best. And it was a discovery that was made at the funeral home that has turned this entire story, this entire case on its head. According to MVS Noticias, Carlos posted on social media that he'd been told about a week earlier on September 12th that Paloma Nicole was going on a trip to the mountains with her mother, his ex-wife, Paloma Jasmine. But then, according to reporting from Publimetro, he gets a call from her on September 15th claiming that Paloma Nicole had been diagnosed with COVID-19 and was in the hospital. Although it's
Okay, so the father has no idea, thinks that she's just going on a trip to the mountains, probably for her birthday, and then gets a phone call that she's got COVID-19, and then she later dies in the hospital. To enhance your cheekbones, a silicone or other injection is not really an implant. Okay, thank you for that. Kalisa, I think it was you who asked for prayer. I asked everybody when we first started the stream to pray for you. If it wasn't you, let me know. But we did ask for that and for the synagogue that had been shot up in the UK. Yeah, it was so unethical. And the dad didn't even know, thought that she was going to the fucking mountains. Oh, yeah. Yep. And it's going to talk about that too. Her mother assisted with no medical credentials. Could you imagine? I mean, even the mother being there and doing that to her daughter, being in the fucking room while he did that to her daughter. What the fuck?
unclear if she was in an actual hospital or a private clinic of some kind. The reporting
Thank
is kind
you.
of mixed on that. But Carlos and some family members of his side of the family, they rushed to the hospital where Paloma Nicole had been put into an induced coma, was intubated. This is according to Publimetro. And the outlet reports that when she died on September 20th, her mother and her mother's new partner, they were the ones who took care of the arrangements, quickly whisking her away to a funeral home. Okay, that's the allegation. Now, in fact, according to reporting from El Siglo de Durango, the local prosecutors said that 911 got a call about the death of a minor, so they went to investigate, but the body had already been taken away. Now, according to Carlos, the cause of death for his daughter was listed as an illness, so allegedly some sort of respiratory disease, possibly related to COVID-19. And while the death certificate reportedly mentioned a cerebral edema, hypoxic encephalopathy, and bradycardia, El Siglo de Durango reports that both parents agreed with the death certificate at the time, but that soon changed.
So she got some kind of infection either from the surgery or from being put under for the surgery, I think. Yes, yes, yes. I'm praying for you still. I hope that God puts his hands on you and helps you with whatever you've got going on. And I'm so sorry, Kalisa, for what you got going on. I don't know what it is, but I'm praying for you. Don't it look weird, the mom's nose? It does. No, I think I played it. I think I played it about 3 times. It's the first time today, but yeah, I made it not long ago. Julianne said it was a car and a stabbing. Are you talking about the synagogue in the UK? I seriously doubt he was. Oh no, oh you just wait, you just wait. Lots of freelancers practicing medicine on their own in Mexico. She did look like that though, didn't she?
When Carlos arrives at the funeral home, he discovers this awful secret, that his daughter appeared to have had major surgery. The Arizona Republic news outlet here in the United States included a statement reportedly from Carlos via the prosecutor's office in Durango. And that statement says, quote, at the funeral, some relatives told me her breasts were larger than what she had before. And when I mentioned it to her mother, she told me it wasn't true, that she didn't know anything. That night, I asked her mother to leave the room so I could talk to the girl to say my goodbyes. For some reason, she didn't want to. I managed to convince her and her entire family to leave, and they did. My sister, my sister-in-law, my mother, and I stayed inside. They examined my daughter, and sure enough, she had breast implants. We have photographs of the implants and the scars. But
Could you imagine? You're told from your ex-wife, I'm taking our daughter to the mountains, it's almost her quinceañera, which is like our 16, sweet 16 here that we used to have. For in Mexico, it's your 15th birthday, your quinceañera. So, it's a big deal. Basically, she's named a woman, even though, obviously not a woman at 15 years old. So, your ex-wife is dating or married to this big time plastic surgeon. We're taking the baby to the mountains for her birthday so that we can have some time together. And then you get a phone call that she's got COVID-19 and she, dies at the hospital. You're heartbroken. You don't suspect anything, so everything's okay. You agree with the death certificate. And then you get to the funeral home and they're like, your daughter has boobs like your family. Like she didn't have boobs like that before. What's going on? Mom won't leave the room. You have to basically force her to leave the room, and then you find out your daughter has breast implants at 14. No qualified medical doctor would have performed the surgery on a child. I agree, Becky. Also, the BBL surgery is the most dangerous in terms of fatalities and never should have had any other surgeries at the same time. There is a huge risk of blood or fluid loss, which can stop your heart. I did not know that. Wow. That would be nice, Mike, but I don't see it coming. Me too. I'm surprised the funeral home didn't say anything either. Were they paid to not say anything? Did they say something to the mother and she blew it off? Hey, Lola's. I'm wondering that too. Good question.
an interview with a popular content creator named Jorge Octavio Arroyo Martinez, who uses the moniker Mr. Doctor online, Carlos apparently revealed even more shocking information that not only had his 14-year-old daughter been given breast implants, but apparently she had undergone liposuction and a Brazilian butt lift, also known as a BBL. So according to Carlos, the surgeries were a, quote, gift for this teen in advance of her 15th birthday. And they were allegedly performed by Dr. Victor Manuel Rosales Galindo, Paloma Nicole's stepfather. But Carlos says he never consented to these procedures and he never would have. According to his Facebook page, Galindo has his own plastic surgery practice. And also,
so he's got his own plastic surgery. I mean, look at the a woman's body with wings, and then here's a naked woman. Like, I don't know. It's that's weird to me. Could you imagine finding out that your daughter's had surgery and you didn't even agree and then she dies from it? Really, Miss King of anything. I hadn't heard that he was connected to authorities. Wouldn't they have to remove the implants before they prepared her body? Probably not. I don't know. So let's get this straight. The mother gets her nose fixed, looks in the mirror and sees how bad it looks and decides that he should do all this surgery on her daughter now. What the fuck? 14 fucking years old, and you saw how little she was and they gave her fucking liposuction.
also works out of La Hospital de Paz in Durango. He's posted photos of himself performing all kinds of plastic surgeries. And he's also posted photos of his wife and stepdaughter, Paloma Nicole, calling them.
I mean, right there, that woman looks fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But that shit looks so fucked up. Her face looks fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry, but it does. Her face looks fucked up. I'm sorry. A legitimate surgeon would never do all those surgeries together. No. Julianne said no, they would only remove them if they were being cremated or during an autopsy. I don't know if they would during an autopsy or not, but like, look how little she is. The fuck, ma'am?
His princesses. He was reportedly a member in
Oh.
good standing of the
He says they're his princesses.
surgeries. And he's also posted photos of his wife and stepdaughter, Paloma Nicole, calling them his princesses. He was reportedly a member in good standing of the Mexican Council of Plastic, Aesthetic, and Reconstructive Surgery. Now, I will tell you, he has since been suspended, according to TMZ. MSV Noticias reports that Galindo allowed his wife, Paloma Jasmine, to work alongside him during medical procedures and surgeries, despite, by the way, her not having studied medicine. And when Carlos...
So she worked with him, even though she has no idea what the fuck she's doing. He allowed her in the surgery rooms to help him perform the surgeries with him. Y'all.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn!
Like, it just, every day I'm having to play that clip because it just gets worse. Do the doctors get charged with murder if a patient dies? No, they sign a bunch of paperwork that basically keeps them from getting charged with murder. I don't think she had an autopsy either. The mom's nose does look like Michael Jackson. All I need is Jesus. Said what mom would want her husband to see their child naked if she hadn't passed. He has seen the child nude. I could never. I mean, not only that, but to give the child liposuction, breast implants, and a Brazilian butt lift all at the same time as a 15th birthday present. The child hasn't even had time to fucking develop. And again, like I keep saying, what liposuction? Like, this girl probably felt like she was ugly because she hadn't had plastic surgery. She was so pretty. I can't. This shit pisses me off.
discovered scars on his teen daughter's body, he immediately raised alarms. He went to the prosecutor's office demanding an investigation. Now, Paloma Nicole's body was taken for an autopsy, and the results are still pending. They're expected to be released soon. Geraldo de Mexico reports that Carlos told Mr. Doctor that his ex-wife insisted she did nothing to Paloma Nicole and maintained that the girl died from a severe case of coronavirus. As of now, the local Durango prosecutor...
Look at her fucking nose. Look at her nose. And she's saying she didn't do anything and that her daughter died from fucking COVID-19. How are you not charged with giving a 14-year-old a fucking Brazilian butt lift and breast implants, ma'am? How are they not being charged for that? It's sick. Most of her is plastic. I mean, it really is Michael Jackson's nose. She definitely does. Wonder if her heart failed during surgery or if it was an anesthesia issue. It was one of the two. It's abnormally small. It's all fucked up. It's exactly like Michael Jackson's nose. Exactly.
Sonia Yadira de la Garza Fragosa has said that both Galindo and Paloma Nicole's mother are under investigation. In a statement that was translated from Spanish, Fragoso said, "We are investigating a probable lack of care on the part of the mother, a criminal offense contemplated in our code, placing a minor who is under her care and custody in risky situations. We are also reviewing whether there was malpractice in the surgery performed on the teenager. There could be a crime of negligent homicide and probably medical professional liability." All right.
Okay, so lack of care on the mother who could get charged with placing a child in her custody in risky situations. There could be a charge of negligent homicide. The mom's probably going to get charged with putting her daughter in a risky situation and get off pretty much scot-free. And negligent homicide is only going to happen if the public keeps pushing them to do something, in my opinion. It doesn't. It's something. Something real bad wrong. Why would he risk his license? He was working on a minor doing unnecessary surgeries all at the same time. And her body was tiny and not developed yet. No good doctor would do that. Exactly. And it was her fucking stepfather. Like, he knew her personally. That was his stepfather. He called his princess. And her mother was more than likely in the room while they were doing it. Probably heard her flatline and everything. Because she's taken more than likely directly from surgery to the hospital. Like, they revived her and got her back for a little while. Then they call the dad and say, oh, she got COVID-19 and was put in the hospital. Stepdad faked the paperwork to say she got COVID-19. She could, but it'll probably get swept under the rug unless the public keeps pushing back on it like they are.
Right. So to talk about these apparent allegations of malpractice, to talk about what might have happened to this young girl, what are the possibilities as this investigation is unfolding? I want to welcome back Coroner Dr. Nada Rutherford. Doctor, thank you so much for taking the time. This is a shocking story to me. First of all, when you hear something about this and you're thinking, is it possible that there could have been complications that contributed to the death of this young girl from plastic surgery? What should we be thinking of?
Absolutely. We have a celebrity example of someone who died while undergoing plastic surgery procedures. Kanye West's mom died.
I was just thinking about that when she said that. Kanye West's mom did die undergoing plastic surgery. Julianne said, do you think her mom and stepdad made her feel like she needed this due to basically what they are? And I absolutely do. I absolutely think they made her feel like she needed this surgery. She was wearing tons of makeup at what looked like to be 10, 11 years old. Always done up like, yeah, absolutely. I think they made her feel like she needed that surgery. Her tiny body hadn't even had time to develop yet, y'all. Am I jaded, or am I thinking that the stepfather had ulterior motives with his stepdaughter? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering how they got away with giving her that plastic surgery at the age of 14, even if they were in Mexico, you know? Carr said that earlier, tried with mom, but he wanted to use the daughter. Maybe. I hope they both go to jail too. Why would he have done elective cosmetic surgery on a child with COVID? Make that make sense. His excuse is illogical. Well, I don't know if she had COVID. Like, I think they're using it as an excuse. I wonder if she had COVID. If she did have COVID and they knew that, yeah, fuck that. That's even worse. If you could get worse in this case, like, Jesus. How do you liposuction where there is no fat? Again, yeah, exactly. That child was not fat in the least. Where the fuck did they liposuction at?
As a result of complications from receiving plastic surgery. So what makes someone think that a 14-year-old
Where does this child need liposuction? Lord, give her a damn biscuit. Feed her some cornbread. God, that's all they had to do. Get that baby some cornbread. Give her some biscuits and gravy. She'd be all right. Good God.
girl who's still developing would not possibly have complications? So you have possible breast augmentation, possible butt implants. From all of the stuff I've been seeing online, there seem to have been multiple surgeries that could have possibly taken place for this 14-year-old girl. And seeing a death certificate that says cerebral edema, well, I have lots of questions as an investigator, as a nurse practitioner, as a coroner, as a healthcare provider. There are so many things wrong with this case.
What does that mean? When the death certificate says cerebral edema, bradycardia, hypoxic encephalopathy, what are those? And
yeah, we need to know what that means.
Does that mean they're contributed in any way? Could those be contributed in any way by complications with plastic surgery?
Well, one, you have to take a look at what this hypoxia is. So hypoxia is a lack of oxygen flowing through the bloodstream. And so you have a decreased level of oxygen, which when your brain has a decreased level of oxygen, it's going to try to do everything that it can do in the body to try to get oxygen there. But that overwork.
So she loss of oxygen basically probably while she was on the table. And look at the difference here when she's with her daddy. She's not wearing any makeup. She looks like a child. I think her daddy should have had custody of her. Cuz in the other pictures where she's with her mama, she's wearing makeup and all the shit. It is Mustang. Y'all, I'm here to tell you, my kids that are older than her my girls don't walk out the house with makeup on. I don't care if you put makeup on while you're in the house, but you are not walking outside my house with makeup on your face. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They weren't. Brain swelling and lack of blood flow, says Brenda. Okay, Cindy, my love. Have a good day. I appreciate you being here. It's so sad.
Of the brain in the simplest form possible is going to cause that brain to swell. Also, when you have plastic surgery, there are certain rules that apply about the balance that you must have. So if this young girl at 14 years old, body still developing, is receiving any sort of IV fluids throughout this procedure and either an overabundance or not enough, that salt level, that sodium level in her brain can cause that brain to swell. So we see this in patients who are dehydrated, but we also see it in patients who are overhydrated. So what were they doing during this procedure that could have caused her sodium balance to be off, to cause something like cerebral edema? We know that she had some sort of respiratory failure because we see the hypoxia, but what was that from? She could have had a number of things that happened. Sometimes even if implants are too large for the chest that they're being placed in, that can cause a restriction of your breathing. So did she have hypoxia related to a restriction of her breathing? There are wraps that people have to be placed in once you've had this type of surgery. Was that restricting her breathing and no one noticed? She seemed to be such a petite young woman, and so many things could be wrong with this scenario.
That is so sad. Cindy, I didn't want you to think that I was attacking you if you're still here. I wasn't. It's a possibility that she had COVID, but what I meant by that is that I think they were using it as an excuse. I don't know. I don't know.
Can you just elaborate one more time, at such a young age, why plastic surgery for someone that young is so concerning?
Well, one, the plastic surgery wasn't necessary for her life to be saved. So we see plastic surgery when someone has been in a traumatic accident, burns, car accidents, where they need some sort of surgical trauma, ICU care. So we can see plastic surgery during times like that. But this didn't seem to be the case here. She seemed to be a normal, healthy, thriving young woman. I don't know why anyone would approve plastic surgery on someone at this age. Her body is still developing. She's still going through the Tanner stages of development. She doesn't even know what her breasts will look like by the time she's 18 or 21. I certainly think this is an adult decision and something that really should not have happened.
So,
really, exactly. Kalisa said simple blood loss can cause fluid loss and can cause heart issues due to improper sodium levels. Little bit of Lisa, good to see you. The doctor needs to be at least charged with malpractice, so he can't even afford insurance to practice, at least not in the U.S. Well, this is out of Mexico, thank God, but like still, I thought you had to be over the age of 18 as well. Evidently, he's been suspended. So I don't. He needs to be charged with murder. It is disgusting.
Durango's prosecutor appeared before officials this week to give an update on the case, and there have been allegations now of a cover-up of some kind, although by whom kind of remains unclear, because the prosecutor seemed to confirm that there was some apparent conspiracy, because at some point, per reporting from El Siglo de Durango, Carlos was sent a certificate indicating a positive COVID-19 test, which he sent to Paloma Nicole's school to explain her absence. Fregoso said that there are indications that their certificate was a forgery because it doesn't appear in her medical file, and the person who allegedly wrote it up has denied ever doing so to investigators. Let's start right here. Nada, could COVID...
So they faked a COVID-19 sickness and sent a certificate of her school to explain the absence. So what they planned on, I mean, I guess they planned on her being out for a while because she was going to have, need to recover from surgery. And so now they're using it as an excuse as to why she died after having faked the original diagnosis of COVID-19. Right, Miss King of Anything. I was not allowed to wear my eyeliner. Yeah. The only thing I was allowed to wear was eyeliner and eyeshadow. That's it. No, nothing else. That damn Marilyn Monroe lipstick, not in my house. Not in my house. Has anyone suggested the mom may have some form of Munchausen by proxy? She seems very narcissistic. Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. The mother should have taught her child she was perfect just the way they were. She was. Instead, she's got her in heavy makeup. Has he been arrested like Michael Jackson's doctor went to jail? So should this one. No, I think he's just been suspended. It happens a lot in that country, really. I'm going to look it up. They weren't even going to tell the dad they did. Yeah. No, they weren't. They weren't. You think any of our teachers would recognize the difference? Yeah, probably. But what could they do? Blue eyeshadow should be illegal.
19 have caused a death like this?
Sure. You can acquire hospital infections, certainly being in the hospital. They have all sorts of respiratory precautions. They'll restrict your visits and all those things. But if she was positive for COVID, if this truly was a hospital acquired infection, respiratory infection, then she would have been on so many precautions. Her family would have had to glove up and gown up and mask up before they went into her room. Based on American standards, this is what should happen, right? There are restrictions to going into someone's room. But before you have surgery, you should also be tested. And no one's going to take you under the knife if you are positive for COVID. So again, that's a red flag for me. Why would you put someone under general anesthesia who is already infected with a respiratory illness that is known to be fatal? Again, all the red flags here.
Now, the rumors of a cover-up, they were also bolstered by the fact that Galindo's father is a prominent former judge in Durango. Fregoso...
Oh, so his father's a prominent former judge. Therein lies the problem with him probably getting charged at all. I'll question if his medical license is even legit or if the daddy judge forged it. So I looked and all I'm getting is generally it's required to be legal aged adult who is able to make a fully informed decision to undergo plastic surgery. However, one exception to this requirement of parental consent is required. Okay, so basically your parents can consent for you to have plastic surgery. So evidently it's not illegal to be 14 years old and have plastic surgery if a parent consents. I think that's for the US and Mexico, which is insane to me.
Insisted that no family members had intervened, but obviously people made connections here. The prosecutor also reported that Paloma Nicole was awake following the surgery, but then quickly deteriorated, was hospitalized. And Fregoso pointed out that between the time she was admitted to the time she was declared dead, she was attended to by multiple doctors and nurses and technicians. So I wonder, Dr. Rutherford, could her death be attributed to the cosmetic procedure, or did something happen in the hospital that caused her death?
The autopsy report on this is going to be so important. The dad needs to push for an autopsy to be performed. Even if a body has been embalmed, it can still receive an autopsy. And I think this is so important in this case. He needs to push for an autopsy for his daughter, whether she developed a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot that.
So they're going to say, oh, she got the plastic surgery, but she got the COVID-19 afterwards, and she died from the COVID-19. That's what the mom is saying. But we all know that it was more than likely related to that. I believe it's illegal for minors to have elective surgery in the U.S. I'm not sure. I was trying to figure it out. Kanye's mom died. I hope he can get an autopsy.
That settles in the lungs, whether she had a stroke in her brain, ischemic, meaning lack of oxygen, or hemorrhagic, where her brain may have been bleeding. What I have gathered in the information that I've looked at online is that there is so much that is missing from this. Forgery, possible cover-up, conspiracy theory, it doesn't matter. We need to look inside of this young girl's body to see what actually happened to her. Because if she has a pulmonary embolus, we'll be able to see that on an autopsy. If she was given too much anesthesia, we'll be able to see that on a toxicology report. If she had cerebral edema, that is going to be evident at the time of autopsy. When they do the head dissection and they reflect that scalp, they're going to be able to see if there was any trauma to her skull, any trauma to her brain, if there's any bleeding there. So the autopsy report is going to be so important, and this dad should not stop until he gets that autopsy.
So yeah, he's going to have to get an autopsy. I'm wondering if he could sue for wrongful death. I don't know. I would hope so. Exothermic? Nasty. I would sue too. There is, Mike. There really is.
Autopsy report. So everybody else, they can be quiet. Let's see what the autopsy says.
You seem very confident that they will get answers if an autopsy is performed correctly. Is there a possibility that the cause of death could be indeterminate, that it may too many complicating factors? We won't know exactly what happened to this girl. Maybe there could be assumptions, maybe there'll be supporting evidence of some kind, but strictly the autopsy, how confident are you that will provide the answers that the family's looking for?
Well, based on the information that we have access to, they say that she's got cerebral edema. They say she had COVID-19. You can do a postmortem COVID-19 test. That's very simple. That's a swab, just like you would do on a person who's alive. If she has cerebral edema, that is going.
Look at her. I can't. This poor gal went because it was cheaper in Mexico. She didn't know. Oh, yeah, the cement thing. I've heard about that, Lori Ann. Horrible. People do that always come out looking like aliens and Michael Jackson, in my opinion. Khloe Kardashian, Little Kim, and Stacey, Joan Rivers, all of them. Yeah. A lot of it depends on which country their citizenship is in. Mexico, probably nothing will happen. Yep. It makes me sad too. She is perfect. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, let her grow into her body. What in the entire hell are y'all doing?
To be evident when they weigh her brain. They're going to be able to see fluid and swelling in her brain that doesn't go away just because someone passes away. If there are any ischemic areas where there's tissue that has started to discolor or die because of a lack of blood flow, we're going to be able to see that. If she was in the hospital and she was receiving any sort of vasopressive therapy, medication that shunts blood to those major organs, those things are going to be present in her system. So again, I'm confident that the autopsy, if done correctly, is going to give us some answers. Will it give us her actual cause of death? I'm not certain about that, but I know that we can glean a lot from getting that autopsy and the toxicology done.
Now,
so there was evidently, Tom, there was people that would go to Mexico to get like Brazilian butt lifts and things like that, that would later find out that they were being injected with like cement, like plaster for your walls. all kinds of things that you should not be putting in somebody's body. And they would have been like, they would find cement in their body and like plaster for sheetrock. People were putting that and doing Brazilian butt lifts with it in Mexico. This is outrageous. Absolutely. Cara said, I used to watch a TV show called Botched, and they explain what happens to people who constantly do work on their nose, how the surgery weakens the cartilage and causes it to collapse. Yep.
Now, the Durango State Commission for Health Risk Protection announced that it is doing its own parallel investigation, and they released some information about the clinic where the surgery allegedly took place, saying that while the clinic was practically brand new, it had all the necessary permits and licenses, and according to the commission, Paloma Jasmine signed paperwork authorizing the cosmetic procedure. By the way, which brings us to the big question, is it illegal to perform cosmetic procedures like this on a minor? The answer appears to be no. The president of the Board of Government and Political Coordination told reporters that currently there's no ban for young people as long as at least one parent gives their permission. El Siglo de Durango reports that Mexican Senator Margarita Valdez plans to take legislative action prohibiting
Yeah, we need to do something if a minor can have surgery as long as a parent consents, because they might get away with this because of that. So I hope she does change the law. This poor woman had Fix-A-Flat. See, yeah, put in her face when she got a cheek implant in Mexico, and they were trying to help her remove it. It's insane. Got a cement truck up my butt. She got lips and cheeks done and still out of proportion to her nose, and it's gross.
necessary cosmetic surgeries on people under the age of 21. She pointed out that the Senate banned child marriages and should ban this too. Durango Informativo reported comments from Durango Governor Esteban Villegas Villarreal. He said Wednesday that he sympathizes with Carlos. Quote, if I were in his shoes and I hadn't been informed about what was happening with my daughter, it would be a very complex topic. I want to tell dad, family, and friends that there will be no impunity. Justice will be served, and the whole process will be transparent. And even the most prominent Mexican officials are weighing in on this story. During a news conference earlier this week, Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, told reporters that the government would be glad to look over the case and make sure justice is done for Paloma Nicole. Now, Carlos has been a loud voice in the call.
So I hope that they actually do. It seems like he got his story out here, especially if we're hearing about it up here. And so hopefully he can get the justice he deserves for his daughter.
For change. There was a march that was planned for this weekend with the focus on helping girls feel safe and comfortable in their own skin. In a post on Instagram under the slogan, "Girls Don't Need Implants," Carlos wrote in a translation from Spanish to English, "We cannot continue to normalize the sexualization of girls or allow the ambition of some adults to put their lives at risk. We demand justice and that this crime does not go unpunished. Girls deserve to grow up free, safe, and respected." An Arizona
That man should have had custody of that baby, in my opinion. Absolutely should have had custody of her. The doctor lacks skill along with the rest of this insanity. I agree. And I think he only got his license because his daddy's a prominent judge in the area.
Central article took a closer look at plastic surgery stats here in the United States, too. According to data they looked at from the American Society of Plastic Surgeons in 1996, 14,000 cosmetic procedures were performed on teen patients. That number jumped to more than 286,000 by 2024. And of those,
286,000 procedures performed on teen patients in 2024.
Most were minimally invasive, but more than 23,000 were full-blown surgical procedures. That's according to the medical group. So, Dr. Rutherford, as we continue this case, we look into it, do those numbers alarm you? And how many times have you seen cases where it is complications from medical procedures like this that contribute to someone's death?
We see complications from medical procedures all the time, whether someone's getting a cardiac cath done because they're having a heart attack, whether someone is going in for implant surgery or a nose job or whatever it is. We see complications from these types of surgeries because general anesthesia, putting someone under, You are decreasing their respiratory rate. You are putting them in harm's way. And yes, that's why you sign informed consent here in the US. Before a procedure is done, you take what's called a time out and you make sure it's the right patient, the right body part, the right procedure, the right physician. And does a patient understand that when you undergo general anesthesia, that you have the risk of having hyperthermia, where you can get a fatal fever that happens as a result of this type of procedure, that you can have respiratory complications because they have a tube down your throat. There are so many different things that can happen when you're under anesthesia. And if you are signing an informed consent and you understand the risk that you're undertaking, sure, but parents should be involved in those decisions. So why?
Yeah, both parents. Both parents. Hilton said, used to work for plastic surgeons. Lots of teenagers had surgery as a present from their mom. My God. That's horrible. Well, the blue eyeshadow with the blue hair would work, Speedle. I'm sure. Hey, Steph. Good to see you.
Why was her father left out of the decision? And why was this woman's boyfriend, who's a plastic surgeon, allowed to, I guess, facilitate this type of surgery under this mom's directive?
The allegations are disturbing, to say the least. And, hearts and prayers go out to this family trying to make sense of what happened here. Really, really tragic situation. Dr. Nita Rutherford, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And that is all we have.
That shit was insane to me. That is absolutely insane and fucked up on so many fucking levels. So many levels. All right. So, we are now going to talk about an alleged serial killer on the loose in Houston. And I was sent something from Miss North last night that made me step back and say, whoa, wait just a minute. Hold on just a minute, right? There's a lot more bodies than we originally thought. And in my opinion, it's related. And in my opinion, there's a serial killer in Houston. So for that, we're actually going to come right back over here. Do you guys remember not long ago, actually, we're going to jump over here first. Hold on just a minute. So I did do a search that said, is Lady Bird Lake in Houston? And it's in Austin. But there was a bunch of deaths at Lady Bird Lake. Okay. Now let's see how far Austin is from Houston. Probably should have done this beforehand, but oh well. It's 2 hours and 39 minutes away. Okay. But we're going to jump back over here. Do you guys remember
the Lady Bird Lake that's out?
This is from 3 months ago. Okay. So 3 months ago, this was kind of in the headlines. Let's watch this real quick.
The Lady Bird Lake that's caught people's attention with speculation surrounding the possibility of a serial killer. But
so 3 months ago, we were talking about the possibility of a serial killer at Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas. Rachel said, if both parents have custody, then both should have to consent. So wrong on so many levels. Yes, exactly. And I know that daddy would have never consented to that. That's why mama lied and said they were going to the mountains. There's a difference between plastic surgeon and cosmetic surgeon. Let's grab that real quick. Plastic surgeons and cosmetic surgeons have distinct training and focus areas, with plastic surgery encompassing reconstructive procedures, while cosmetic surgery is primarily about enhancing appearance. And he was cosmetic, which would have been, again, what happened with I do believe he was cosmetic, if I remember correctly, which would have been, enhancing the breast implants, the Brazilian butt lift, and all of that. Good to see you, Ange, and thank you for being here. My divorce papers state that for major medical decisions, he has to be a part of the decision making, as most do. I think it's like required to be in custody paperwork. I know it's in some of my custody paperwork that I have to be notified about medical decisions, any medical decisions. I heard about the Austin murders. When I heard about these 6 murders, I don't believe this is not a serial killer. I think there's a serial killer, y'all. I really do. Lori, baby, you do not. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you were burned over 90% of your body. You are beautiful the way you are. And I can see you in your picture if that is you. And you are absolutely gorgeous. Please don't ever think that. God, please don't ever think that. You do not. You are perfect the way you are. Tom, note to self, if you're not a swimmer, stay away from water. This shit's insane. Let's continue. I'm going to start it over since we started talking. Let's talk about Lady Bird Lake real quick. 3 months ago, y'all.
The Lady Bird Lake deaths have caught people's attention with speculation surrounding the possibility of a serial killer, but investigators have found no reason to believe that. There have been at least 38 bodies found in or around Lady Bird Lake since 2022, according
38 bodies found in and around Lady Bird Lake since 2022. Okay, and then we had 6 bodies pulled out of bayous in Houston, one a day for a hot minute there. One a day. Monday, there was a body pulled out. Tuesday, there was a body. Wednesday, there was a body. Thursday, there was a body. Friday, y'all. And there's not a serial killer? I think somebody, after dumping 38 bodies in Lady Bird Lake, might have figured out that the cops might be a little bit onto them, so they changed their location, but not the motive, not the motive, not the location, not the signature. Bodies in lakes of water. It's insane. And they're saying they drowned 38 motherfucking bodies in Lady Bird Lake in 3 years. I don't think so. I don't motherfucking think so. 3 months ago, they were saying there's not a serial killer. All right. Remember, right now we're talking about Lady Bird Lake, which is in Austin. This is from 3 months ago. And then I'm going to bring you to current.
to data obtained by Fox 7, of those, 30 were male. About 60% were between the ages of 30 and 49. Only 2 of them were teenagers, including the body found on Tuesday.
Another paddleboarder was here out on Lady Bird Lake and notified us that it appeared that an individual was deceased and floating on Lady Bird Lake.
Body found on
paddleboard. Okay. So we got, I'm going to write this down real quick. 5% were teens, 8% were 20, 29, 61% were 30 to 49. That's going to be our big number. 13% were 50 to 64 and 65 plus. So we're looking mainly for people between the ages of 30 and 49. And you mean to tell me that people between the ages of 30 and 49 are getting into bodies of water and not knowing how to fucking swim? I'm sorry, I don't fucking believe you.
Lady Bird Lake notified us that it appeared that an individual was deceased and floating on Lady Bird Lake.
While the latest body to surface in the lake has not been identified yet, Austin police believe it's likely the teenager who went missing on Sunday. He was paddleboarding and kayaking with his family. We're told he got off to stand in shallow waters, but unknowingly was near an underwater shelf, which is a sudden drop-off in the lake.
At some point during their paddleboarding session, one of the individuals went missing from their family.
He stepped or slipped off and never resurfaced. His backpack and life jacket were still on the board.
The individual that we have today is wearing the same.
But if he's out there on the paddleboard, you would think he would know how to swim. Lola said, is there a sign, wait 2 hours after eating? You know, I don't, this is insane to me, y'all.
Clothes as the person that was reported missing Sunday evening,
making him at least the 7th body of 2025 in Lady Bird Lake. In the past 3 years, the causes of death have mainly been attributed to accidental drownings. Second is suicide, as well as drug overdoses and natural causes. Only one case has been ruled a murder. About half a dozen of these cases remain unknown. Yeah, police have no reason to suspect any foul play, and there weren't any trauma wounds found on the corpse of this most recent body. I'm reporting live at Lady Bird Lake. Katie.
So they're attributing all of those, saying there's no serial killer at Lady Bird Lake, and I have a couple of articles we're going to jump over here to now. This one specifically is about Lady Bird Lake. This one says, Rainy Street Ripper. New study looks at deaths around Lady Bird Lake. See what it says.
You'll always be the one I want to live.
Lexi Kelly says, great content here, great pace. Also great content at Guilty of Crime, I'm assuming you're trying to say, and I appreciate the compliment. I'm glad that you find my content good, and I appreciate your opinion. Hannah said, even a strong swimmer will struggle if the tide is choppy. So you're thinking that it could be related to drownings. So there they reference a study to see if there's an actual serial killer on the lake. Rachel said, nope, I live around several large lakes and rivers, and many people go on the water and don't know how to swim and don't put on a life jacket. And you're saying that they don't drown, right? Oh, I know you were being sarcastic, but thank you. I live in Lakeland, and we have more lakes than supermarkets and don't have drownings like this. See? And I'm wondering, okay, if there is a serial killer, how are they doing it and making it look like drownings? Like, what are they coming up behind people and holding them underwater? How is nobody seeing it? So there is a question, right? It examined 198 drowning deaths since 2004. Here's one of the people who died. Let's see if we get information on it. Hold on, we gotta wait for this makeup. Probably because we were talking about makeup ad.
I just feel like, what will I do without him?
It's her new reality after her brother, 17-year-old Iriwamiri Shate, died. The Shate siblings from Richardson, Texas, were in Austin at the time.
We went to Lady Bird Lake. At first, he didn't want to share a paddleboard with me because he said I'll slow him down. But we ended up sharing one, and we were having fun. We were paddling, and everything was fine. And then we got to this shallow part of the lake, and we decided to get down and swim. And then there was a shelf, apparently. So I was at the top part of the shelf where it's.
So this is going to be the second reference to the guy getting off of the paddleboard and onto the shelf. That's one out of, what, 38? Over 30. They blamed alcohol too, and that could account for some of them, but not all of them.
It's normal, and he was swimming too far, and he got to the deep side.
And then he was gone.
When it happened, I was just screaming at the lake. People were staring at me. I was screaming, but they were just staring at me like I was a weird person. Like, why is she screaming? Just odd. Like, can't you help?
Austin police began looking for Shate Sunday evening.
So I'm not going to play all of that. But basically he drowned, and she references people just watching and not actually helping. Maybe that's a reason that people are drowning more now because nobody's actually helping. They're pulling out their cameras and recording it. I don't know. Angela, thank you for being here, love. I live near Lake Wiley, tons of boaters swimming, jet skiing, maybe one drowning every 5 years. Right. According to findings, most of the body were found near Auditorium Shores and Barton Creek. 8 victims have been recovered from the areas. We found that there are no indications of a serial killer. We found the number of drownings consistent with the historical frequencies of drownings in Austin, but also comparable to Texas generally. Most have been attributed to accidental drownings. One case was ruled a murder. Okay, we know most of that. So that's Lady Bird Lake, where 38 bodies have been recovered. But if there was a serial killer, okay, then maybe he moved because Lady Bird Lake was being watched. So let's talk about why we're talking about it now, 3 months later. If we drive 2 hours and 39 minutes away over to Houston, this reads how news of Houston Bayou deaths sparked a serial killer conspiracy theory, okay? City leaders have noted 2025 is on track to have fewer dead bodies found in local bayous than last year. Some Houstonians still believe there is more to the story. By the time a University of Houston student was the first to be identified among a string of 6 bodies found in local bayous, including 5 in less than a week, some social media users believed there was more to the case than officials were letting on. Houston officials have confirmed 15 bodies have been recovered from bayous in 2025 so far. So 38 bodies in Lady Bird Lake and 15 bodies in bayous. I'm writing that down real quick. Okay. Within days of several bodies being recovered last month, posts on Reddit, YouTube, and Instagram had already pointed to a serial killer. In response to the claims of a potential serial killer, Mayor John Whitmore called a press conference on September 23rd to refute the rumors. Dr. Spicer, a communications professor at Millersville University in Pennsylvania who has researched conspiracy theories, noted that previous research found people naturally tend to look for patterns rather than chaos. Quote, I'm not the least bit surprised that when you have multiple dead bodies in the same body of water showing up, that multiple people in town are going to go, oh, there's a pattern, which doesn't mean that there's a pattern, but human brains, just like somebody says, we're pattern-seeking animals, we see patterns where there are none. Spicer also noted that American political discourse has been defined by skepticism of government and authority figures. Dr. Jay Coons, a criminal justice professor at Sam Houston State University, compared the skepticism to the fictional mayor in the 1975 film Jaws. Quote, that theory was kind of played out there, where the mayor was absolutely denying that there was a great white shark because he didn't want it to affect the upcoming tourist season. So I think it's a common thought amongst people to distrust the government. Coons previously served nearly 4 decades in the Harris County Sheriff's Office, including as a captain. He spoke with Houston Public Media about what law enforcement investigators would look for to determine the presence of a serial killer. The thing is, you're not looking for a serial killer. You're faced with a crime, a body is found. What are the circumstances of where the body was found? What is it that the investigator sees at the scene? What do witnesses and family members have to say about it? When investigators theorize the existence of a serial killer, much of it comes down to collaboration with law enforcement. Coons said the medical examiner will conduct an autopsy and detectives will investigate the victims as well as the nature of their deaths. Usually, in a lot of your homicide operations, the detectives are together and they might be talking about this. I got this weird homicide, he said. Detectives will compare cases with one another to determine patterns or similarities. You might reach out to the FBI and say, hey, are you tracking crimes of this nature at other locations in this area? Though conspiracy theories are nothing new, They agree they spread more rapidly in recent years, largely with the help of social media. Here in Houston, much of the theorizing of a serial killer has played out on social media. Quote, "It's a serial killer in Houston, Texas," one TikTok user said. Whether that absence of evidence is itself the evidence. We don't want assumptions. This community wants to know what's going on, what is being done, and ensuring that factual information is given to us in a timely manner, because there are a lot of concerns. A lot of young people are feeling unsafe, and we have to give them the support that they need. Y'all, 53 bodies. 53 bodies between Lady Bird Lake and bayous in Houston have been pulled out in the past couple of years. 53 motherfucking bodies. And you're going to tell me that 53 bodies being found in lakes of water, areas of water, it's not anything that we should be afraid of, that they're most statistically the highest percentage of them drowned? I don't think so. So here's what we know about those who were found deceased in Houston bayous this year. It says they've been gaining national attention after several bodies were recovered within a span of 10 days in September, bringing the number of bodies found to 22 this year, according to the medical examiner's office records. So it's not even 53. It's what? 8, 9, 10, 0, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, 50. I had it wrong. So it's 50 bodies that have been found. While many people are trying to piece together why this is a growing problem, Houston police continue to investigate the deaths, but at this time have not linked them to foul play. I'm not going to play all of this. It's 37 minutes.
French toast nibblers or breakfast knives?
Recent fears of a serial killer prompted the mayor and police chief to publicly address the situation, urging the public that there is currently no evidence of foul play or any connection between the cases. Investigations into the deaths remains ongoing. They gathered a list of names from the medical examiner's office of those who were found dead this year in Houston bayous. He confirmed that there have been over a dozen bodies pulled from Houston bayous this year. Last year, there were 24 pulled from area bayous. So if we're going to talk about Lady Bird Lake, who had 38, 24 last year, and 22 this year, y'all, I really think there's a serial killer. With a current drowned victim would likely surface in the same area too. Oh, Lady Bird Lake is a river, like a river-like body of water reported to have strong currents and undertow. I guarantee we have just as many drownings in our nearby river. Do you think so? I mean, and I'm wondering, okay, if we do have a serial killer, though, how are these people dying and it's not being seen? Is there something in the water? Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster? I don't know. I'm wondering that myself. Let's see what we can find out about the victims. January 11th of 2025 in White Oak Bayou. Douglas manner of death was accident and it was a drowning. Unspecified bayou, February 14th of 2020. Carl Newton, and the manner of death was ruled an accident. Sudden cardiac death. Hypertensive cardiovascular disease. Variant with hypothermia. Acute methamphetamine intoxication was the cause of death, with the drowning for Douglas, the first one I read. March 30th of 2025, unspecified bayou, Anthony. Manner of death is pending. March 31st of 2025, Juan, manner of death pending. April 15th, 2025, Buffalo Bayou, downtown Houston. I'm sorry, Juan was found in Brays Bayou in southeast Houston. Now, this person, Jesse Steele, was found in Buffalo Bayou near downtown Houston. Primary cause of death was multiple blunt force injuries. Manner of death is undetermined. May 7th of 2025, unspecified bayou, Kenneth. Manner and cause of death undetermined. May 9th of 2025, unspecified byuos. George Gray's, they're still pending. A lot of these are still pending. Like all of the ones that are pending, it's interesting to me because we have this one from April 15th that's multiple blunt force traumas. And then this one, drowning with acute toxic effects of PCP and ethanol from May 17th of 2025. But we don't have the cause or manner of death from May 9th of 2025, May 9th of 2025, May 7th, April 15th, March 31st, March 30th. Like, why do we not have the cause of death and all of that for these? But we've got some that are closer in date with us now. Bray's Bayou Anthony was drowning with acute effects of PCP. Bray's Bayou Shannon Davis drowning. It from May 30th accident, and it was a drowning. June 9th and 10th, White Oak Bayou Ernest, those are undetermined. July 7th, Raymond, those are pending. August 21st, Latricia, those are pending. August 27th, Bray's Bayou Jamal, those are pending. September 15th, Bray's Bayou Jade, pending. September 15th, Hunting Bayou Rodney, pending. September 16th, White Oak Bayou, unidentified, no name, and those are pending. September 18th, Buffalo Bayou, unidentified. September 20th, Buffalo Bayou, Michael Rice. September 26th, intersection of Commerce and Millam Street beneath a bridge by the University of Houston downtown, unidentified woman. We have some of these that are more recent and their cause of death has been determined, but some of the older ones have not. Why? Why? Because it looks suspicious? Right. What is the cause of death? Why do we not have the cause of death from March 31st of 2025, manner and cause pending? From March 30th of 2025, manner and cause of death is still pending. Why do we not have that information by now? April 15th, manner of death is undetermined. Primary cause of death, multiple blunt force injuries. May 7th, we still don't have it back for Kenneth Jones. Manner and primary cause of death undetermined. Pending, May 9th, George Grays. Why do we not have that information back by now? If you look it up, lots of stuff in or under the water, depth, drop-offs, currents, and undertows spells disaster. But that's still a lot of drownings. Okay? 50 people, y'all. 50 people in the past couple of years. And you mean to tell me that 50 people have drowned in an area that's within 2.5 hours of each other? PCP seems to be popular in Texas. Really? Something's going on, Lorianne. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, but it is. Let's see. What is the state that's known for lakes? Michigan, right? I'm going to ask how many people drowned a year in Michigan. Oh, I might be wrong there. So evidently in Michigan per year, there's 1,155 drownings. No, that was in a 12-year period. So it says there were a total of 1,155 drownings in the 5 Great Lakes between 2010 and 2022. The most drownings in 1 year occurred in 2018 with 117 drownings recorded. So 117 1 year in an area that's known as the Great Lakes. And there's been 50 in a couple of years in Texas. I don't. Thank you, Mustang. Y'all, I think there's something fishy going on. Who knows they are going to do drugs and it's like, yeah, I'll go kayaking, like as if that's a good idea, right? Most people, when they do substances, want to get their substances, go home and enjoy it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I know when I was doing substances, I damn sure weren't thinking about going to the damn lake. And yes, some people drown. You know, you got to add heart attacks and things like that. You also got to add people out there being stupid, drinking too much and things like that. Like, I get it, okay? But 50, 38 and Lady Bird Lake alone, like, no. I think there is a fucking serial killer. It's a really high number. The popular river near me gets 2 to 4 calls for assistance each year. But see, that's each year. Kayaking sober is hard. I couldn't imagine doing it while you were drinking. Mr. Speculating got me into kayaking, and I remember the first time I did it, I was like, "Oh my God, my arms hurt so bad." It was a workout. That's for sure. All right, y'all, that's all I've got for this here day. I appreciate y'all being with me. I appreciate the support. You guys are so amazing, so very sweet, so fantastic. Make sure you check out Plunder. Share the story about the 14-year-old girl who was given plastic surgery without her father knowing and all of that. Like that shit makes me mad. That little girl needs justice. Yeah, Lady Bird Lake is way high. Florida has the highest amount of drowning. Let's look at it. Florida. But you got alligators and shit there. Well, there might be some in Texas too. Okay, let's see. So in 2023, at least 97 children drowned in Florida, highlighting the urgent need for awareness and preventative measures against drowning incidents. Let's see just to see what it says in Texas. In Texas, there were 103 fatal child drownings in 2024. Additionally, there were 22 accidental drownings reported the same year. So we're not talking about children in most of these, right? In 2024, 22 accidental drownings. And that's going to include some of our 50 that have been reported. But still, I mean, that's half of what they pulled out of the fucking bayous just this fall. You know what I mean? I think there's a serial killer. There's a killer on the road, y'all, in the words of Van Morrison. And I'm concerned. Y'all stay safe out there, for real. The world is a scary place. Thank you, guys. Please consider hitting the thumbs up. Little bit of Lisa said also consider the percentage of people in an area that go swimming. And why would you go swimming without knowing how to swim? Like, I don't know. Weird to me. In case nobody has told you, you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I love you very much if nobody's told you. Brenda said, I taught my boys started at 6 months old to swim because half our house opened to our pool. Yeah, it's important to know, important to teach kids. Lola's mom said, I live by the Atlantic Ocean. Every summer we have at least 10 to 15 accidental drownings, mostly because of riptides and swimming when not allowed. 15 in a 15-mile area. Interesting. But you're talking about the ocean there. These are like in lakes and bayous. But it is relevant, I think. All right, y'all. Stay safe out there this evening. I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good evening. I love you all. And thank you so very much for hanging out with me every day as we talk about these stories. Y'all have a good night. Again, stay safe. Bye.